Woo! King Bob. I forgot how stupidly loud the intro song was. Nice hearts from our French-Canadian compatriot. Also, why do I have the wrong intro? Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Was that the wrong intro? It said
It is the
Iron
wrong
Season on it.
intro. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I'll fix it later.
It's a beloved classic, but
It's a classic.
Unbelievable classic.
Times.
Beautiful classic. Anyway, it is me, the ultimate kahuna, one of the co-captains of the Iron Seas podcast, joined by my friends and co-captains AC Richard. We're gonna make your dog start freaking out. And then our other down here, all the way down, Justin.
Rough.
Woo!
Mark.
Sorry, he's from he's married in that vanilla life. That's as much as his wife lets him bark. Anyway,
a woof a bar.
Honey, not so aggressive. Not so aggressive.
It's like speaking dog, but with an accent, you know.
Actually, can you be the submissive dog tonight? Sorry, anyway. Sorry, brother. And our guest for tonight, from French El Canada himself, Mr. Frédéric Guimont.
What did I walk into? Thanks for having me, guys. It's
Of
been
course,
an
man.
honor.
Yeah, especially after your other show, your very successful show, like $3 million now. Is that right?
Yeah, we just lost a bunch though. I've got a humble little art stream. You know, I mean, it's the simple joys in life. I like to get on the drawing board, draw, and talk with my friends about comics, art, and stuff.
You've been working on that piece for a minute too, dude, and it looks so good.
Thank you. Yeah, this is
no mechanical snake choker, but it's fine. I get it.
This is not my character. This is Patrick Quinlan's Blue Rose from.
I didn't ask if you wanted it. No, it's fine. Yo, we got some super chats, guys. Mr. Brian McCoppin. I see Roland Shield Book 3 beta is open. Is that an invite to do weird things on his boat in Florida? Possibly. Send him a message. And 420 from Wrangler.
Is that code? Is that code for Easter, Adolf Hitler's birthday, or some sort of smoking?
That's like
former more than the latter, but
Oh yeah, Mr. Yeah. He was on Haley Star, and then Haley's World. No, wait, I say Haley Star.
Haley's World. Haley's World.
Better than Bad Kitty for the first one. I like the title, but I made fun of it, and we're still friends. It's fine. Moving on. No, it's going to be a good day, guys. So the movie this week, I did not realize until today, was Hackers. Hackers came out in 1995, a year after one of the greatest years in human history. Of course, being the year that I was born and Kurt Cobain ceased making music.
Yeah, there's references to Kurt Cobain in the movie.
Was it really? You'll need to point them out. I feel like you're a wisdom of knowledge on this. So whenever we get into it, you will need to bring up every tidbit of information you have about this because it seems special to you. So I want to
especially since I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, I actually ended up befriending the consultant on the movie because he is
no way.
He's somebody who has a talk show at the WBAI, so that's New York City's public radio, right?
Was that Guy Trumbull?
No, he actually goes to...
What the hell just came out of your mouth?
He has the moniker Emmanuel Goldstein, which is one of the characters in the story. And it's not his real name because that's also from the book 1984. So
I was going to say, I've heard that name before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
it also sounds like a potential extra from, what was it? Goldmember? Anyway, wrong movie. Here we are.
Possibly.
It was lost during an unfortunate smelting accident. Anyway.
After meeting him, I started doing visuals for hacker conferences in New York for a while. So from
that's cool, dude.
2004 on, I did it a few years. It's like every couple of years. And we had a lot of fun down there. I got to meet some real life hackers, basically nerds, but
did they have cool code names?
I don't know. It's like guys don't ask each other's names. I mean, you know their names when you're talking on.
But this movie.
Well, there needs to be a level of
Wait a minute.
anonymity, or hacking is kind of
when you meet in
it's
person.
pretty sketch already, anyway.
Yeah. But there's lots of tons of cool names for sure.
All right.
So did he crack open the CPU and use his matrix memos to get into the? I don't know how hacking works.
To get into the
doing
office.
my best.
I thought you were.
You
You had me
write them
fooled there.
time
You had me
sheets?
fooled. I thought you were legit for a minute there.
Well, it's like in Blood Dragon, that alternate version of Far Cry 3. It's like, just let me whip out my CPU blaster. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Well, that's the thing, is that most of Hollywood were doing hacking incredibly bad. Like it was horrible back in those days. You might not know this, but it took I think Mr. Robot was the first one to actually have researchers. Mr. Robot is a great show series. I forget where it aired, but it was on America One or some really strange.
What's up, Andrew, from the land down under? Killing the dangerous Australian velociraptors, or kangaroos, as you guys call them.
Clever girl.
Dude, I watched a video on baby kangaroos the other day. If you've never seen how baby kangaroos like get around and stuff, it's wild. They're like a little jelly bean. They crawl around. They crawl up into the pouch.
Yeah.
And they hang out in there, and they get on the little kangaroo teat. But they're like this big. And
that's what I do with my boys.
It's so sick.
Welcome to Iron Seas. We got kangaroo fat.
Kangaroo
Also,
Pokemon.
unrelated for those wondering, don't carry your infant children as a man shirtless when they're very young. They don't know the difference. That's all I'm saying.
Life lessons.
Like everyone's quiet. They don't know. You guys don't know what to say anymore. It's like me. It was like when I asked boys and gang to pronounce Hawaiian words, and they were just stoically like scared and silent for about 25 seconds. It was great, dude.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
The sink.
I don't get it.
Let that sink in.
Oh, you sack of shit. Got 1 week off work and edited a few manuscripts. Hell yeah, dude. Life is good.
Sick.
I mean, like, I always feel like I understand it's like sometimes you have to take time off, or like I like to go and do things when I have time off. But every now and again, I'm like, I'm glad I'm just kind of sitting around like working on personal stuff. I appreciate this time.
I'm going to go do those editing of those manuscripts.
Wrangler says they're giant possums. That's
Oh, I like that.
Oh, bipossums. I've heard about those.
Bipossums.
Very very modern.
Much different than unipossums.
Yeah, they bounce both.
Or those darn non-binary possums. Those are the worst.
I know.
Man.
Those
You
people.
got blue fur.
Some people mention
both ways.
omnipossums, but everybody knows that's just fake news. Omnipossum sounds cool though.
It's a legend.
It's too
sound
binary. Too binary.
That's actually that's Pokemon
That's-
1026 waiting to happen.
69420.
Can you guys imagine, like, if animals were like Pokemon, they had to say the name of what they are, like every time,
And their
like,
pronouns.
as their sound.
And
It's
their
like
pronouns.
kangaroo. That's exhausting, dude.
My God,
Kangaroo.
Pikachu, he, him.
what have they done to your generation?
What happened to your tail, Pikachu?
I like to pretend
I
that
cut it
they
off.
hear-
Pika.
they're just British.
Female
Oh,
Pikachus have a heart-shaped tail, so I cut it off.
Oh God.
I cracked. I broke the heart.
Picturing
Oh,
deer
no.
crossing around like, oh dear. Oh,
Justin was
dear,"
right, we're
as the stand
grounded.
cries.
And Ditto is just at a club, like with a bunch of weirdos in Seattle doing what they do. Anyway. Sorry guys, we don't know what's happening on this stream. Do we have a summary? I have one here. I can read it unless someone
We
else
do.
does.
I have one here from the Wikipedia.
Let's get
Which
it.
means
The Wikipedia.
it could not be more official. So we're talking about hackers from 1995.
Oh,
A young
Yeah.
boy is arrested by the U.S. Secret Service for writing a computer virus and is banned from using a computer until his 18th birthday.
banned.
Years later, he and his newfound friends discover a plot to unleash a dangerous computer virus, that is.
On the
But
nation.
they must use their computer skills to find the evidence while being pursued by the Secret Service and the evil
government.
computer genius behind the virus. Starring everybody's favorite Johnny Lee Miller a very young Angelina Jolie, who is frequently like, I want to know how often, every time she flashes, how much money she got each time, because I bet it was a lot.
She doesn't flash a
bet
whole
it was a
lot
lot.
though in this one.
I didn't count, but there was more than once.
This is why she was okay with just being animated as in the movie Beowulf late in her
Is that
career. I
why?
think
This is
she's
why
probably like, well, hackers exist, so.
Oh yeah,
That's
she
why.
did do
Go for
Beowulf, didn't she? Like the weird animated one.
And it's like
Yeah, that's
90%
right.
naked. She's like 90% naked, so and it's animated, so you're just like, is that a naked lady?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They started doing weird things in movies. Like there's a naked topless picture of Miley Kunis in a movie, and it turns out it's someone from the crew with
Did you
Miley
say
Kunis.
Miley Kunis?
No, I did not say Miley Kunis.
I heard Miley.
I said Mila Kunis.
Okay, Mila Kunis. Very good. Very good.
It's like the worst person ever. It's Miley Kunis. It's Miley Cyrus and Mila Kunis. It's the worst.
It's
Yeah,
true, it's true.
came in like Wrecking Ball. Anyway.
Yes, this also was starring Jesse Bradford. Any Jesse Bradford? Any Lays fans? Nobody here knows him. Lawrence Mason, everybody's favorite. Matthew Lillard,
You're a furry,
aka
Connor. I don't want to
Shaggy.
hear it.
Word up
AKA
to Shaggy.
Word up to Shaggy. And then
Caught me in the
there was-
bathroom. Wasn't
He's
me.
the one
Plague.
playing the Emmanuel Goldstein character I was telling you about.
Emmanuel
Oh, sorry.
Goldstein.
Noise.
Yeah.
I heard Shaggy, and I like that AC Stevens, the ultimate Shaggy. That one. That's the best Shaggy.
What?
Is the artist from the late 90s? That guy. So there's another character in this called the Plague, and I couldn't figure out who he was, but he looked familiar. I'm like, who is this scrawny short fella?
I know this.
And I knew I recognized him, but I wasn't sure where.
Did I
and
beat
it's
you up
fish-
in high school? Who are you?
Did I put you in a trash can? It was Fisher Stevens from Johnny Five is Alive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where he...
See.
Damn.
Also, from an absolute sleeper hit that was recommended. Yeah,
Short
Brian
Circuit
McCobbin
is
knows
such a
about
good
Short
movie.
Circuit.
He's such a good guy in that one. In this one, he's a rascal.
Johnny
He's
Five. Yeah, he's a rascal. I love it. The other movie that
wrong,
Fisher Stevens was in that most people have not seen, including myself, and it was recommended to me. It was the second absolute banger out of 2 for Herman P. Hunter. He recommended 2 movies to me, and one of them was
Highlander.
It might have been. Oh, he loves that one too. He would be on board. I think it was The Last Starfighter, which is absolute home run. And then the other one was My Science Project, which I'd never heard of. And it's fantastic. It's like, a little bit B tier, a little bit 80s schlock. Absolutely awesome. And Fisher Stevens in that movie plays this like Italian greaseball guy. And it's just a super fun, again, 80s, not.
Did you feel represented?
I did not. He was very scrawny. He was very like, hey, what are we doing? And has like a
I felt
lady that's a
represented.
comb and all that. There was a whole lot of grease. I don't even know what that means.
Incredible amounts of grease. They ate in my restaurants. Those filthy Italians. Mexicans cook their food now. Anyway.
Yes, Wrangler knows about Last Starfighter. Do that. That movie's fantastic. Anyways, the budget on this flick, The Hackers, was $20 million. And gentlemen, do you know what it made? Do you know what it made? Do you know? Do you have a guess?
I think it
42 million.
flopped.
14. Good guess. Good guess. Floptastic. Flopped like a floppy disk. I see what you're doing, Guimont. Look at this guess. Show it.
Did they hack the box office?
There we go. It made $8 million.
On 14, on budget of 14.
20 on a cool
Oh,
20
yeah.
million.
Wow.
They made $8 million.
Man,
so,
there's been a couple of losers recently. It's like the tank movie did bad too, but that was a good movie.
you might say that the box office earnings had zero cool.
However, it became a cult classic.
Well, that was back when a
man.
movie could
I
make its
understand.
nut back on VHS and DVD sales. Fisher S. He can be an Indian, Italian, and IT support. You already said Indian. That's wrong. Also, real quick, the Lord Otter brings up.
Yes, that was Penn. I knew that. Whenever he came on the screen, I made a note here. It's in bold. I was like, Penn?
Yep.
Question mark?
Penn
And it
Jillette.
was. It was.
Yep,
From,
Pendulette.
wait,
Shout outs.
is that really his
Yep.
last name? Like the
Yep.
razor company?
Yep.
Yep. All right.
So
like
Teller,
magic.
Teller was going to be in the movie, but they
Like
didn't have
magic.
any lines for him. So
Yeah.
Otter brings up the Dragon. Ramos says hi, Kahuna. If anyone's wondering, that's from a TTRPG game that we play together, and that dragon definitely sodomized my first character before he died. Anyway, moving on.
I like the name Ramos. It reminds me of Will. Who
I like it too.
Can you say that word again the way you just said it?
Which word did I say and how did I say it? Because yes, but I need to know which one and
Ramos.
how.
Ramos.
That William Ramos from that Lorna Shore. That boy.
Y'all know about Ramos the dragon,
boy?
You one of them Ramos boys?
He's one of the, he's a barn
You come
red
around
dragon.
here.
Let me tell you what.
You come around these parts, we'll make you some cornbread, invite you in, have some gravy on your eggs.
Jeez.
The last part I made up. I was just like, oh shit, everybody's
It
very quiet.
works though. It works though. Oh, Christ almighty.
So I think this movie, a big thing about it, it starts off and it's based in Seattle, 1998. And you get the premise with the young kid. He's I don't know what age he is. He might be like 10 or 11. And basically he's in court and you find out he's doing these hacker things that are well above his mental capacity. I know, right? Well above his mental capacity, and they basically close off his ability. He crashes 1,500 computers. He crashes the Stark market. He crashes the Stark market with his computer knowledge. Tony Stark, yeah. 45,000 charge is what
saying stupid shit today.
Right. They're like, yo, you did this bad thing. We're going to charge your family $45,000. And that's in 90s money. So that's basically $20 million. And he can't touch a computer until he's 18. And this is a thing they used to do. They used to say, hey, that internet, we don't really know what that is, but you don't go near that for like 10 years. Because
they have nude women on the internet. We don't go. We don't want you
couldn't secure computer systems, so they ramped up the fines and the damages and the penalties.
Can you? Sorry, can you guys imagine trying to look up like prawn on the internet in '98? That sounds like a nightmare. Anyway,
it was all one line at a time, man.
Yeah.
You better go into the bush in the neighborhood that had one crumpled Playboy picture in it, because it was just
and
that was a little bit faster.
Photoshop technology was way worse back then too. So like, what you see is what you got.
So you wouldn't have had what was it? Hillary Clinton photoshopped into inappropriate videos back then. That was just modern.
Or if you did, it would be obvious.
I didn't look that up, but
Hillary Clinton.
I was instruction. I got like. Derek came up. He's like, "Dude, look at this." I'm like, well, "I don't want to
Who
see
was
that."
president in 1995?
No.
85?
95. I mean,
95. Was that wasn't Bush, was it?
Maybe Clinton.
I'm 94, so I don't know, dude.
I think it might have been Bush 1, but I don't know.
One Bush.
Clinton.
Bush 2.
So Clinton had just been inaugurated in February 1995.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Something like that. Yeah.
Welcome to History Lessons on the.
There you go. So
also,
she would have been the first lady, so they might have made fun of her.
Welcome back, Tank. I appreciate it. Fair. You know, next time, show up for your own show. No, I'm kidding. It works out, man. It works out. Also, continue.
So
we just
it starts off and this kid, he gets caught and there's armed dudes raiding a house, which is always terrifying and exciting. So it was a good opening to the movie, I think.
Yeah.
And then he gets sentenced, and of course, you move ahead 7 years later, and that's whenever I feel like this movie it has that aesthetic, that certain aesthetic that's just set in time for better or for worse, and that's a theme that I'm going to stick with throughout this entire discussion. I think whether your enjoyment or non-enjoyment of this movie very much hinges on the time period, everything about it, with the exception of the music, because the music did not capture the time period very well. It's kind of, it did in the like cinema score kind of way, but there wasn't like the music of the time being pumped in.
I
there
mean,
it wasn't Euro trash like techno club music.
It was the music of the times in the rave scene. That
part's accurate. But
true.
There's no so is this whole movie just niche appeal? I'm trying to
yes, it's niche appeal of the movie.
Scale. Dang it! All right, I was hoping it had a broader appeal. There's some references that are broader.
I think it has universal themes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, because it is a love story at the end of the day.
I mean,
Is it?
a kind of love, yeah, sure, for sure. That definitely is in there, for sure.
Love of
I
computers is what I'm talking about.
Me too.
Yeah.
I wish they had dropped in a single track, like some Oasis, or I don't even know what the hell was popular in '95. Was Bush
There's
around then? Am I too
gonna get
early?
myself connected. What's the group?
Oh, I know who
Writings
you're
on
talking
the
about.
wall.
Oh, that was actually a hit. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
I'm
was. No, my dad moved away from Seattle right before like the grunge era got there, and he's like, "Yeah, it's too bad. I kind of missed it." I'm like, "You didn't miss anything."
And
Get some Cheryl Crow up in there. Get some Cheryl
the
Crow.
the Nirvana reference is the poster on his wall. So he's got
yeah.
a Nirvana poster that you catch like whenever he has a dream scene or he's working at his computer. He's got the Nirvana poster in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is one of the best soundtracks. Like, whether or not you like the movie, it's a great techno soundtrack.
Sir,
Okay.
Lost Boys
Thank
is
you for
one
that.
of the best soundtracks.
Qualifier, yes.
Yeah.
Great techno soundtrack. All right, I agree. Because at first I was like, I'm watching, I'm like, I'm not totally on board. And now I know where you're coming from. Like you said, it's very niche. There are some references there.
Like sometimes it'll age the movie a little bit, but I like one that I remember. I prefer a soundtrack that's memorable.
This one is very. It's like a time capsule, and it's incredible in that sense. And it's also, I could see somebody saying it's terrible in that sense, but for people that again can remember that time period, there was so much about this movie, more so than other movies that try to do what it does, I guess, on some level with the like capturing the era. It hits home run after home run. Like we watched Fantastic Four, and they had like he hits the burger sign and he cooks it. I loved it. But this was way more subtle and way more like it felt real in that sense, even the parts that were absolutely insane. But there was like talking about references at the time. Whenever he gets on the phone, which I think it was the phone, he says, "Hey, this is Eddie Vedder from accounting." Do y'all know who Eddie Vedder is?
Yeah, from the band. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the kind of thing, if you don't know 90s music, you don't know Pearl Jam, which is, I remember stories about like Pearl Jam. If you want, you got to go down to like the grocery aisle to try to find it. Most people
like
Eddie Vedder,
Pearl Jam, worst Creed.
Hey,
the only reason I know
people eat me alive for that comment, by the way, and I'll stick by it. I'll stand on it.
I understand it, but I would need to see Jeffrey Stapp or Gary Stapp, Bill Stapp, whatever his name is, referencing Eddie Vedder as a influence directly before I was like, it'd be fine. So it's just like it starts off. This kid has issues. Obviously, he gets arrested as a young kid. It flash forwards 7 years later. I assume he's coming up on the end of his time needing to use the internet. But they show his apartment, and all I can say is his apartment would make Rocky proud because it was a mess. It was a total mess. And I'm like, no, don't do this to me. And they bring his mom into there, and mom is like, anybody else see the mom in that scene? I don't know. She was not doing mom things. It was a little bit like I couldn't figure out the vibe of this movie right out the gate. It was very all over the place. I'm like,
she's kind of single mom running around, too busy to know what her kid's up to.
yeah, it's a little bit odd. In terms of the movie being a time capsule of the era, I tried to make a list of everything that popped up throughout the film that felt so 90s. And my family, we didn't get a computer. Like, we didn't need one in the house until the late 90s because my dad's a carpenter. You know, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so we didn't need a computer. We didn't know what the internet was. It wasn't until later in the 90s that we were like, oh, we need this for business. So there were certain aspects of this that really hit home because it's like, oh, I remember that. But I was a few years behind the cutting edge. And this taking place in Seattle where a lot of this tech was booming, I assume that if you were one of the kids, you know, we had that kid in the neighborhood. Everybody has a kid in the neighborhood who is very up with whatever's the new tech. Maybe you could relate to it a little bit better, but it was close enough. So things that I ran across. First of all, the arcade graphics, the PCs in general, the outfits, the paper. I don't know what those dots are called on the side where like the printer has those wheels that feeds the paper through.
Yeah.
I forgot about those. And I was watching this movie. I was like, oh, I was doing that whole thing. The what's his name? Not Emilio Estevez. The other
Leonardo DiCaprio. Like,
I was doing the DiCaprio the whole time. I was like,
I know that
You're
reference.
snapping at the TV constantly, dude. The dots on the side, you got to fold them and rip them off. It had the food products that they're eating in the house. I'm like, oh, that's like the old packaging.
There's a
The
lot of really
computer-
authentic stuff, and there's a lot of crazy invented, especially with the CGI and the computer graphics. That's mostly kind of made up and
Yeah, that
incredibly
part. But
wacky. But a lot of the stuff in there is actually researched and authentic.
I believe that. The skateboards, everybody's skateboarding and
That's not authentic. Like hackers in New York do not go around on rollerblades.
I
checked.
think you know why they
Not a
did
thing.
that.
Such a
I have a
90s
theory on why
staple,
they
man.
did that. Because skateboarding is like for punks and delinquents, and anyone who is a delinquent and a punk would also try to hack computer systems.
Oh. I don't know
that's
if it was
my
that.
running
I think
bet.
it was just that delinquents and punks, like skating was cool. So something to tie into it to make like the nerds more accessible and more cool in that sense.
That's kind of what I assumed
Skateboards.
too. But
Dude, the bedrooms with the posters on the wall, I'm like, oh my god, that's my old bedroom. The Jolt Cola, was it Razor and Blade are drinking Jolt? I'm like, oh man, I remember that stuff. Jolt was great. The Walkman CD, and this kid, he was doing things that I didn't think to do whenever I was, younger. There's one kid in this movie who has his headphones on. He's got his Walkman on. He's got his Walkman. It's dangled over the top
Shower.
of the shower curtain rail, right? So it's on the outside, so it's safe from the water.
Yeah.
He has the coming over, and he's got his headphones on. What does he have around those headphones? Sandwich bags. I was like, I've been in the shower as a child and be like, man, I wish I had music in here. There's no way to make it happen. Oh well, guess I'll just wash and get out. And he was like, no, sandwich bags, bro. And he's got it on. I
Hackers
was
don't
like,
take no
yo,
for an answer. Yeah.
dude, genius.
They find a way. Yeah.
7-digit phone numbers where they're like, yo, check out that girl. I got all these like tabs on her, and like her height's this, and she's from this area, and they're like her digits, her 555.
That's such an older movie thing. It's like every guy in these older movies is like, dude, here's a list of all the chicks that I either want to bang or have banged, and every relevant detail.
Yes,
And then like it's like, is that just a movie thing? Because I've never seen that in real life. Never once.
A guy that has a list of girls,
like that's kept track of everything about.
Not in written form. I mean, like guys like, yo, that girl's cute. I also think that girl's cute. That girl also cute. I've
Too
never
tall,
seen like
but
a
kind
list.
of cute. No.
The CDs. There's a point where he's going through the CDs in the room, and then the pagers. So there's so many like little cultural markers, and they felt authentic. There's a lot of movies that take place in the past, and they slap these things, and you're like, all right, kids at this time period, I guess they had rollerblades. I don't know, make that a thing, and they throw it in there, and it feels disingenuous. This movie, it really felt like it fit. It felt like
Well, it was made in
very
the time
much a
period. Like it was not.
Yes.
It was not doing something of the past when it came out. It was actual. It was. This was what's going on.
Yeah, and it hit those markers rather than feeling fake. Which again, some movies, even though the time period, the people making it, you could tell they didn't understand whatever's going on. Maybe they had aged out already. This one felt like it was made by people that understood the scene and all that sort of thing. And maybe hackers at the time would be like, no, it's a disaster. This movie sucks, and that's why it didn't do well. To me, looking back, I'm like, it seems like they understood the vibe.
No, I mean everyone laughed at the costumes, at the graphics, all that stuff. But everything in the book is authentic. Like the books that they bring out when they're together that they read, they're all authentic hacker books that they were into. The hacks that they use, like when he plays his tape recorder on the telephone to simulate the coin drops, and then he can get free calls with just a tape recorder. That's a real hack that was used. They have a lot of authentic tools of the trade.
Yeah, I know nothing about hacking except that in the modern day, I watch hackers who are able to hack people who hack their stuff. And it's always funny to see someone in a foreign country who thinks they're on top of the game have all of their secrets spilled to them on video. Something very cathartic about it.
Yeah, the scammers, the Indian scammers that call, and then you have a hacker that is able to locate them, get into their computer system, find their personal photos, and show it back to them. Yeah, there's definitely a Robin Hood justice kind of ethos to the hacker spirit.
Yeah, it's like it's rebellion put to good. It's a rebellious spirit put to hopefully proper use, because if the world and the government is just and not authoritarian, that rebellious spirit exists and people needs to be directed somewhere. And I think
well, that's why you have the white hats and the black hats, right? You got the bad guys, the good guys, and then sometimes you got the gray hats who are skirting on the edge.
Gray hats are just trying to make a buck, dude. Anyway,
it's true.
This terminology I've heard before, but I don't know what it means. So I'm sure there's somebody else out there like me.
So no. Let me explain. Black hats are people who are magicians for a living. White hats are people with bad taste, and gray hats may be homosexual. Okay, Frederick, you can give your explanation.
Yeah. So in my biased opinion, but so basically, the hacking. It's all illegal, right? Hacking was basically doing things with computers. You didn't ask permission, but the white hats were people who were doing things for good. So there was actually people who would break into systems, fix bugs, and then exit without doing any damage, right? These are people that didn't respect boundaries, but wanted to do good things regardless, right?
It's like, I'm going to break into your house and do your laundry.
Yeah. One of the biggest hacks in history was just a small little thing. Like they broke into a power company. Oh no, it was the phone company. I think it might have been AT&T. And the only thing they did is switch the clock AM to PM, but it had massive financial consequences because all the tariffs on the phone, like the cost of the phone calls were all based on time, right? Like during the day, the cost was maximum, and evening you had the special cost, and it just fucked everything up. And it's an example of a tiny little hack that can cause chaos. The black hats would cause chaos, or do it for money, or do it just out of spite or for nefarious.
In modern day, you hear stories of like groups of hackers like, hey, these people are pieces of shit. What if we just expose them and their secrets? And like that woman. There's that woman who she started having an affair with her best friend's husband, and then the best friend found out about it, and then she turned into a business and started an online community to teach women how to get away with having an affair and how to gaslight their husbands. And she was making a living this way. And the hacker said, hey, what if we exposed everyone who's part of your community, who they are, what their names are, phone numbers, and so that was great.
I just hope that all these people had code names, because that was one of they didn't clearly.
My name is Dilly Doo.
I love the scene whenever they go up to the Nikon's apartment and they like knock on the door and he opens it up. He's got the thing over his head, and they're like, "Yo, what's up? This is my buddy Master of Disaster, and here is Ultra Laser, and this is Nikon." And they're using like internet names, but in real life. And there's something like fascinating and magical about that, because there was a time whenever it's like you guys, you'd be like, "Yo, what's up, Ev? What's up, Evely? Ava, whatever." I'm like,
what's up, girl's name?
Mm-hmm.
And in real life, sometimes you have that, but this is like the exact opposite order where it started, like, or at least I guess maybe it's the same thing, but
this is where it started, kind of.
Well,
so
like back then it was like, hey, we know our handles, but we don't know our names, kind of thing.
Yes, there was a comment about that in the movie too, where he's like, "Yo, like none of this matters until I get a handle," and I was like, "Oh, damn, the internet was different back in the '90s, back before when there was only a rich kids had the internet, or I guess kids in Seattle,
the internet."
Yeah, 56 kilobytes. The internet came on a CD in the mail, and you only had like 200 minutes, so you better use it.
No, thank you. I'll take my outer net every day.
We don't need internet.
I like that movie. The turns. It's like, I was on the line. I'm really concerned that you're saying on the line and not online. I really need you to say online. But no, I knew a guy named Ron. He was the head of the maybe the computer. I don't remember what it was called, but the basically computer department at Boeing, at a Boeing plant over here in Washington. And back when he first started, they had to use a calculator to start up their computer. And it took up like an entire huge room in the building. It's like, That's pretty wild, dude. I don't even know what it's like. Yeah, we got like 14 megabytes, dude. Check it out.
Damn, 14 megs. Holy shit.
You can do like a third of a badly pixelated picture.
Yeah, I mean, stuff has kind of stopped this magical progression nowadays. We're not seeing multiplication of performance nowadays like we did back then. But back then, every year it would double. Every year, everything would double.
Well, you guys remember like when have you guys ever seen the original like Steve Jobs presenting the first iPod?
Yeah,
pretty incredible. That whole like the idea, the performance, the way he presented it, like what he was giving to the world in that moment.
So
it seems
Steve Jobs was a hacker, by the way.
Yeah,
he was that thing I was referring to you about the phones. He had one because Steve Wozniak was the actual hacker, right? But they were going out together playing with these tools. He had made what was called a blue box. I think that's what it was called. It is a color name, so red box or blue box. I think that one was a blue box. You'd go around and you have like it's like basically a phone pad, and all the numbers were program sequences that would give you codes on the phone that would give you special access. So you could send sound through the phone and that would give you access that you could switch like you were an operator. And they would play with that. They got caught by the police with that as well, both Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs when they were kids. And they met some of the hackers. They met the infamous Captain Crunch, who learned he got his name. You'll never guess why. He got his name because Captain Crunch cereal gave away a plastic whistle that had the sound exactly 2600 hertz frequency. And when you blew the plastic whistle into the phone, it gave you root access as if you were the operator, and you could make unlimited phone calls with a whistle.
He figured it out.
He recognized the sound. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were hanging out with him, you know.
Man.
Jobs did drugs heavily.
He did. Also, Jersey said we had internet in 92. It sucks, but we had it. Jersey, I'm going to point out that my mother was barely out of high school in 92. And I was not born yet. But anyway, moving on.
I remember whenever they introduced the iPhone. And it was the kind of thing that they showed it to us, and I didn't understand it. It's one of those things until it was in your hands, I didn't get. I don't know if that's commonplace, but maybe the Joe everyman, so to speak. I remember they showed, and they're like, "This is going to change the world." And I watched the video. I'm like, "This took 20 hours to download, and the picture quality is terrible." I don't understand what this is. I have a flip phone. I love my razor. Why would I ever get rid of my razor? It does everything I want.
No, remember the biggest lie every school teacher told us when I was growing up? I'm sure you guys heard this too. You can't use your phone. You will not always have a calculator on you. You need to be able to do the math without a calculator.
Oh man, that's such
I have a computer.
Yes.
A supercomputer on me at all times.
That was not a good thing to say. What they should have said is that you're building neuroplasticity that will benefit you in ways that you can't understand.
Yeah, but then I would have called him a fag, and that wouldn't have been any.
That's a gamer word.
I guess at that point I can't argue with you, but yeah, it's
neuroplasticity
children.
I was trying to censor it for the crowd.
You can't ever build neuroplasticity.
I could have said cigarette, but no one would have liked that.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh, of course.
We're talking about cigarettes.
Like that. Yeah, I love that Family Guy episode. Yeah, well, tell me he's being a real cigarette.
Your brain's a muscle, man. Work it out, or else it atrophies. And whatever muscle you train, if you train laziness, that's what you're gonna be. And if you train excellence,
I'm not gonna say what it is yet because I'm gonna put it as one of the clips on stream, but. AC, your wife and I were talking. She and I, our favorite Family Guy clip of all time, like our favorite bit, is the exact same one. And it's so short, but it made me cackle laughing every time I watched it for like the first couple of years. But yeah, that was great.
Another trope from this movie.
I misread this, Jersey, over here on the small screen. I thought it said, "Yeah, my father was in the trench." I'm like, "Oh, like World War." No.
Oh shit!
Oh, heck. Okay, different.
My grandfather was 90 when he had me.
Hail, grandfather!
Hell,
Well, it's like that comedian, Theo Vaughn. Oh yeah, his dad was like 70 years old when he was born. So that's weird. You grew up. Your
He
dad's
was.
Like
that's right. That's
yeah, your dad's like an old man.
yeah,
that's kind of odd. Yeah.
That's quite an age gap.
That's
Gandalf laying down pipe.
They talk about age gaps. They think we're talking about men and women. No, fathers and sons. The age gaps exist.
It's better late than never, you know.
Well, like that's a weird thing because women, they aren't able to have children beyond a certain age healthfully, and definitely, and at some point they just can't do it. Men, pretty much until they die, they can have
No. You can do it after you're dead, Kuna. There's this case where this woman was.
I know. I've been saving up.
Yeah.
What?
No. I mean, there's this woman who kind of did something to a cadaver.
Your clothes, give them to me.
And
I hate this. I hate everything about this.
I thought this was a fake story. I've heard this. You're telling me this actually happened?
Well, what do I know? I'm just a cartoonist, you know.
Even if it's fake, I hate it anyway. I hate it a lot. I hate everything.
Did the man look like this?
Don't put that in my head.
Life
another
finds
thing
a way.
about this movie that was cool was that it has this. I feel like it was a trope at the time, but I couldn't name other movies that did this exact same thing. But must have been others because I saw it and I was like, I recognize this immediately. It was the trope of the teen underground hangout with skating and arcades and graffiti, and like it's this cool hangout that's under a bridge and stuff.
My oldest son wants to go to one of those places and be a cool kid with a scooter.
Yeah, dude.
And I told him you can't because those aren't real. But
they are real, not to that level. It's like all movies. They take something that exists and they exaggerate it.
Yeah.
That scene existed to a lesser extent. And there was places like that around. Yeah. Now, if you could have electricity in the same venue as skating, well done. Well done. But if you had one or the other, like we had places where it was like, go here for skating, go here for like the arcade stuff. You could find both of those separate. But that was a thing. Maybe it was, you know what movie it might have been? Is Little Monsters. I think I'm jogging my memory right here on the spot with Fred Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Fred, I think his middle name is pretty sure. Fred the Savage, pretty sure.
God bless you, Wrangler.
Fred
Sorry,
Savage.
you're missing all our sexy computer talk.
Good night, Wrangler. Thanks.
Wrangler loved it.
Oh yeah. So how much longer do we want to talk about this film? I'm ready. I'm ready with a rating that's unfair and unbiased because I have no opinion.
I'm only halfway through my notes, but I mean, you guys.
No. I'm asking you guys. We're playing democracy here. Frederick, let me explain. Democracy is where the people get to make some decisions.
Yeah, it's what leads to communism. I know.
Communopoly.
Communopoly.
Mm-hmm. I say let's finish Emily's notes and then we'll sling out some ratings. And then
yeah.
Sky.
Man, it might have been TMNT as well. I need to rewatch that. I heard that's coming back.
Yeah, no, that did. The kids were smoking cigarettes and bringing women in. Dude, that movie's wild.
And then the ninjas attack.
Oh, dude, yeah. The Foot.
No,
Clan,
I'm watching this. I'm watching that movie. I'm like, I think I could let my kids watch this, but the scene is not great for that.
Yeah, and they're the bad guys because they're in defeat. They're called the Foot Clan, so that's how you know that they're
in defeat. Yeah,
it's like we are.
No. They're into feet. They enjoy feet. They're called the Foot Clan, which is
they're Klansmen and they wear things on their heads and cover their faces. Yeah.
They have connections with upper leadership in New York City.
Yeah, the feet thing is unrelated. It's all the other aspects.
Tisk. Yeah. Shredder though.
Wow, we just learned something about Brian and his wife. They're both old. No, I'm kidding. They both really enjoy this movie. Mega float. It flies, is what he says. This ain't a ship. This is a rocket ship.
We have a McCoppin airship. Here we go.
So Brian's like Trinity is like Ernest, this, and like Starfighter.
Holy shit, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Don't combine
I'm on board.
Don't combine those things. It'll take a couple things I like and then turn in something I hate ultimately.
One thing about this movie that bothered me: too many fake nightmare sequences. I can't stand the whole like.
And it has like that
Do it
weird,
once.
that weird editing too in the nightmare as well. Yeah.
Do it once and be done with it. Like, we get it. Okay, you caught me to once, but they keep doing it, and it's just like, come on. Like,
Dream
Yeah,
sequences are
that's
kind of
something
tricky to
else.
do in film.
It's like,
They if you do it too often, it gets contrived, and if you do it in a way that's indistinguishable from real life, it gets really old really fast.
yeah,
So
I mean, they
I don't
tried to
know
make
how
it
to
work
do
with
it. It's kind of a
Angelina
tricky
Jolie
thing.
taking her top off, and then
Just do
Angelina
that on
Jolie.
repeat. That's a real dream someone could have.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean, they
based on a
did
true
more.
story.
They tried to work it in there more than once. It was like, okay, I see how you're trying to get me to not be upset.
We paid her
You're
to do
doing
it
this.
3 times. We're getting her 3 times.
Yeah, it's yeah. And I understand also. I could see why a young fella from this era would be like, "Yo, that movie. Did you see that movie? Dude,
Yeah,
Is this
that's
the
a great movie."
Is
Yeah.
this the
Like, what was
worst?
the story about? What? Who cares?
Put
Great
on
movie.
some more Nirvana, bro. Yeah, pass
Yeah.
me
Now,
that
awesome
now
doobie.
movie.
I need to
Just throw it
specify
on.
something.
Great movie.
Angelina Jolie is a very beautiful woman, an actress. The way they do her up is they do her dirty in some of these older films that she's in. Gone in 60 Seconds, they gave her blonde, like rat infested dreadlocks,
Yeah,
and that was the
oh,
thing in that movie. And then the haircut
That's so
in this.
sad.
I'm like, they've done her dirty in quite a
Yes.
few movies. Is this
And-
one of the worst offenders?
Yeah,
I
I
was
think so.
going to say, I even marked this down in our when we were talking online. I was like, God, her haircut. As soon as she walked on the screen, I was like, sink, 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 and then it kept
And then the
going
shirt
on.
came off, and you're like, it's floating now.
They're both floating.
It's
The
too
makeup
close.
was
I
heavy.
don't know.
Way
But
too
it-
much makeup on those eyes.
Oh,
That's
I
always
didn't even
been- that's
notice.
always been her
I
look,
didn't even
though.
notice
Yeah.
her eyes, except for they're very pretty.
That's consistent throughout her career. Always a lot of eye makeup.
I'm
And
not
then-
opposed to a lot of eye makeup. I think it's a great thing, honestly.
No,
And then they did-
Plenty of eye makeup.
I don't like a lot of makeup in general, but eye makeup I'm a little more with.
And then they did her dirty. Then they did her dirty again in Beowulf when they made her Grendel's mother. I
Dude,
know.
imagine if they had made her
I
Grendel.
know.
That would have been a movie.
That's what I thought she
What if
was
they
gonna
made her
play. I was
Beowulf?
totally
Give
ripped
her,
off.
Give it 10 years of
She
pay
comes up.
scale TV, she'll be Beowulf.
Oh my god.
Oh.
There's a hilarious
I was
version of
gonna say,
Beowulf out there
Brian,
where Grendel
Fire-
is played by a person of certain mental capacity. I will
I
just
was
say
going to
that.
say, Brian, Firefox is a movie made in the maybe 70s or early 80s by Clint Eastwood. Was she in this topless? No. Foxfire. Okay. Makes a lot more sense. I'm like,
Clicking
Firefox. Where was Angelina?
off
Where was
my
topless
lawn.
Angelina Jolie in Firefox?
Clicking sounds intensify.
They're making like movies off of browsers now.
Did you say Clint Eastwood directed it?
Firefox? Yeah.
So he's like, hey, get off my lawn, but leave your shirt here.
Yeah, leave your shirt over there though.
Hey,
You jump up and down.
You're going to get in this jet. There's not enough room. You have to take your shirt off. What?
You see,
I need you to
stand over there.
Government
off my
regulation.
lawn,
Part of the program.
You're back on my lawn.
Can we please clip this? Could someone turn this into a whole clip? It's just like we are a wholesome show about
A
church.
couple amazing scenes talking about the 90s vibe of this film. The floppy disk. Do y'all know about floppy disks? Were you?
I know about
That
that.
like
I've
big
never
balls?
had to deal
You know,
with
it was the
them.
save icon in Windows when you were a little kid, or in Microsoft anything. So there was
Yes.
the whatever was saved onto the floppy disk throughout the movie, and they had one scene where the bad guy from I was gonna say from Circuit City, close
Plague.
enough. Plague, thank you. Plague, he shows up to swipe the disc off of the main character, and he does it by skitching. Skitching, I'll say it one more time. Skitching off of the back of a
Dang.
limo to swipe the disc. Do you all know what the term skitching
Is
means?
that where you're on a
SK.
skateboard and you're using it to pull you?
Yes.
that a band?
I've
Dude,
never
it's
heard now,
clear.
Justin. I've never heard that term. I just
It's
had to
skating,
put it together.
it's hitching, it's skitching.
Dank.
And so if you're on blades, if you're on a skateboard, you just crouch down, you grab onto the bumper of whatever's passing by, and you can skitch on that thing. There's actually a video game for the Sega Genesis called Skitching, which was absolutely incredible. And you have to race, and while you're racing, you punch and fight guys, just like Road Rash, which is on motorcycles, but this time it was on
Was that just a
roller
childhood
skates.
simulator for you, or what?
So you
That
just,
reminds
you
me-
skate, and you got your flowing flannel, you got like the 90s grunge, you got tracks like Crunchy Bumpkin, you're skitching, you're fighting guys. Incredible game. That's what the term
Skitching in this?
skitching is from.
What's-
And I didn't realize it was enough of a phenomenon that it made its way into film. And so I saw it, and I was like, oh, again, with the whole like, I was doing that whole thing, and I was like, yo, skitching, and Grace is just like, what are you talking
Dang.
about? I don't know what that is. I'm like, shit, where are my brothers at? They'll know this, and they're not around.
That reminds me of that one game. I think it's on Sega Genesis. It's like the Postman or something. But you literally just go through a town as like the post office guy. And you throw newspapers at the house.
Paperboy.
Paperboy for Nintendo.
Paperboy. Yes,
yeah.
Paperboy. Yes. It reminds me of that.
Paperboy. And you got like the Grim Reaper. That's a great game too.
Oh,
I don't,
so good.
There's no
Classic.
sketching in that.
Brian
But-
says every Gen X tried
I can't make it
sketching at least once. I always thought
Yeah,
it was
dude.
such a sketch thing to do on a skateboard. Like a longboard
dude.
would be better,
Yeah.
but still bad.
Mhm.
There's
didn't
about
have longboards.
nine ways out of 10 that whole thing goes wrong,
Yeah.
and only one way where you don't get pwned really badly.
Yeah, but you're like 12, so just go for it,
I remember
It was
the
fine.
first time
It
I
worked
ever
out.
saw it in a film was in Back to the Future, because he does that off of
yeah.
cars and like
Yeah.
maybe a school bus as well, and yeah.
That's bad. I have scars. It can go really
I
bad,
believe
really
you.
fast, but if you have a smooth road, you're fine. Just make sure that like.
Aren't
if
you
you're in
supposed to
an area-
hide so they don't know?
It depends where the scar is at. You can't always hide them.
Yeah,
Right
but
behind the exhaust.
No, not the scars, the sketching. Like the driver shouldn't know you're doing this.
Oh, and truth be told, generally, whenever this was done as a child, it was done by somebody that I'm like, hey, can I grab onto your bumper and we can do this? Don't go past 30, please. I don't have a helmet on. They're like, I'm going 35. It's like, shit.
My buddy
that
did
kind
that
of-
when I was just sitting on the hood of his trashy old truck. He's like, "What? Just like what?" Oh.
Yes. And if the road is dicey, it's
I mean,
Yeah.
kids
It
in
is
Montreal
Filled with
used to do
potholes
that
and potholes and gravel.
I bet
You
the
could
kids
do
in
that
Montreal probably had a
in the winter. There's
having
lots of
a
no, but
dart while they're getting
in
after
the
it.
winter,
Get that
like it's
dart.
just snow, so you can grab any truck and you're just sliding
Sick.
on the snow. You don't need any skateboard.
It's like
Oh
Minnesota.
yeah, they're probably like they're having a dart. in
Ah,
there, and they're
yeah,
like-
yeah, brother, in the Great White North. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're like, hey fellas, it's only 15 degrees out here.
You want
How
to fucking
about-
go, do
Hey
ya?
fellas, look at me, I'm Guy Lafleur, and they're just going down the
How
road there.
about
you
how about I
know,
grab
having
onto the
after
bumper of
it.
your truck?
Let's
Hey,
fucking
look,
go,
I'm Jean
guy.
Bellevue, you know, having
We're-
after it. I'm Maurice
butchering
Richard.
half
Look at
of
me,
your
I'm the
culture
rocket
in
going down the
this.
road here.
What
Hey, you
else
got
is
a
there to
problem with
do, you know?
Midwestern Northerners?
Actually, is that Canadian accent? Is that even a part of French Canada? That whole, oh hey fellas, what you doing?
No,
out
no,
here?"
those are
I've
the
always
English.
treated them kind of
Yeah.
different.
Those are the
Yeah.
English. The French are French. It's they don't mix.
Okay, so
I mean,
that
they
whole-
do, but
Oh yeah, I
That's-
have a couple of questions about French Canada. Well, maybe
let's
when we're
let's
done
rate the
talking about
movie and then we'll go on
Yeah,
to
we'll-
Fred's
we'll-
section and
we'll
we'll
do
ask
that,
him a
yeah.
bunch of questions. Here.
Are we gonna ask him about art? No, we're gonna ask him about being French and Canadian.
and accents.
I'm gonna give the movie a float. Personally, it's culturally
Ooh.
relevant. I saw a lot of the connections there.
Is
What
it
about
my
you,
turn?
Hon? Oh, whoever.
Oh, it's Kahuna's turn. Is it Kahuna's
Whoever.
turn?
Oh, I can go.
Whoever.
I give this movie 2 Angelina floaters out of 3.
Ah,
That's what I give it.
that wasn't a factor in mine.
Of course, it was the writing. It was
It was
the writing one.
The
me over.
cultural.
I mean, the writing actually is
cultural-
pretty good when you.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I
plot.
think the story is well written. Like everyone's. Like I was rewatching it this week and I was saying, okay, everyone's got motivation. Everything is like there's
Mhm.
nothing left hanging. you
Well,
know?
that's because a half competent writer 25 years ago is better than most
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
writers.
I'm not
today.
saying it's great. I'm not saying it's an
Yeah.
example of great writing, but I'm
Right.
just saying it's competently done. You know, the story holds up.
Yeah, which is more than most modern movies. Like We watched a movie about the fastest, like the fastest indie called The Fastest Indian in the World the other day, and it's about a motorcycle guy from New Zealand. It's actually a good
Go
movie.
on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no, it's
right.
about an old man taking his 1920s motorcycle across
I don't know.
the world into America with no money, and then just like everybody helps him. And it's based on a true story. I'm like, Justin would love this movie. Nothing
Yeah, that
bad
sounds-
happens the entire film. Everything goes well.
If he talks in a New Zealand accent, I am actually kind of curious. Like,
He does.
oh, my bike isn't fast enough. I wish my bike was going faster.
No, it was with Anthony Hopkins. He's this old man, and he like.
Oh no,
he
it's
lives
him.
in
I don't buy that.
He said he lives in a cinder block house, and the kid who's always visiting and watching him work on his bikes is like, yeah, my dad doesn't like your grass. He's like, oh, why's that? I never touch it. He's like, yeah, that's why. He says it brings down the property value. And he's like, oh, his solution: pours out a whole 5-gallon thing of gasoline all over his yard, lights it on fire. It's like, no grass, no problem.
I don't like your grass either.
He sounds like a bit of a jerk.
Oh no,
He
he's doing this to try to help. That's his spirit. He's a helper. He's trying to
I
help.
did you a favor.
So he is my grandfather. I need to watch this movie then.
You do. It's really good.
He's
dude.
like, oh, geez, I need to help, and I'm gonna come up with a solution that is like it's the worst solution.
It's
you
the
can
worst
come up with,
possible
but,
solution to the problem.
Like, we get what you were thinking, but it's not the right call. Okay.
He
worst
raced a
call.
motorcycle gang on a beach in his 80s or in his 70s, I think. Yeah, but anyway.
I was on board until we got to the end there. So this movie for me, it is very much whether or not you enjoy it is, I think it has to do with whether or not you can appreciate the time period it is set in. I think if the 90s do nothing for you, if you're watching it for like the broader plot and broader theme, if you're digging deep into it, you might get something out of it. But if you're more surface level, I'm just trying to watch a movie and have fun, turn my brain off, whatever. If you can't get into the 90s, you're not going to like it. Now, for me, I grew up in the 90s, so I'm watching this like the whole time. And then you throw an Angelina Jolie and, a little bit of gratuity, and it's just like, wow, I mean, I can't not float it. She's buoyant, so here we go.
Lillard.
She's born.
So, yes, I believe that's 3 floats. Guimont, have we heard from you?
Obviously, it's a float. I mean, it's
There we go.
a favorite of mine. It's not perfect at all. Like
Yes.
it was almost a joke when it came out. Like people were laughing at it because it was so ridiculous. The CGI, the effects, the computer graphics were ridiculous, and it threw a lot of people off. But what's fascinating is that everything else underneath is really based on truth. And people appreciate that to this day. It's one of those rare flicks that they actually did research, despite not representing the authenticity in the visuals.
I love that we had almost opposite takes. I'm like, the story, whatever. It's the 90s, and it's like schlocky and surface level. You're like, no. Ignore all that and go deeper. So we got floats on both ends of the spectrum.
If you go
there.
deeper, maybe there's something there. He just provided the something there from the deeper.
All right, yeah, it's a float. And any way you slice it, you can slice it up any kind of way you want with any kind of katana.
Nerd. Anyway. So we all agree, 4 out of 4, that we all float.
4.
Oh.
3.5. What was it? Maybe I can do one of these.
Hi, brother. We got that.
Hey, anybody out there, if you recognize,
never mind.
if you recognize this hand signal, we're
3.5.
friends. If you know this one, if you know what this means, we are friends. You guys know this one?
You just call me a loser.
That's Big Trouble in Little China, man.
I
Well, it
know.
looks like a kung fu move.
Urban fantasy.
Okay,
As
so
we discovered.
Frederick, I have a question. I've been told that people from Quebec, however you guys like to pronounce it,
Yeah, that's the first one.
are so up their own asses that they. How do I explain this? They try to
I
be
don't
more
know. It's
French.
not a good start.
They
I'm
try
already
to be more French than people from France. Is this true?
They try to be. Oh, okay. I think we're yeah. So this is actually from the protectionist of the language side of things, because since we were taken over by Canada, one of the things they tried to do is try to impose English on us, and we fought to keep the language. We installed language laws as well, like for storefronts and all that. They can't have English language, even though there's people who skirt that all the time. So that's where that reputation comes from. I mean, not in the way people speak, because people have a ton of English words in our day-to-day language, and we have as much as the French do, which is funny because it's not the same expressions. We often have the opposite expressions that the French employ in France. The French are really retarded with their English, and I love the French, but when they try to speak English, it hurts my brain. They made up a word called footing because they think they're smarter than English speakers when they speak in English, you know. So they're like, when you walk fast on the sidewalk, it's called footing in France, right? It's not even a word in English.
That's a very specific word for something that's very,
Yeah, so...
I guess that is one thing I like about English. English is the flexibility of our language.
Yeah.
Not every language is as flexible or as broken as English.
Yeah. But it always made me laugh because that's not even a word. And the French are trying to convince us that they're speaking English when they're not really.
Well, it's like a buddy of mine. He was riding motorcycles in Quebec, and he had a lot to say about some of the police officers that he ran into while riding a bike. But he's like, his explanation is like they're trying to be more French than France. Stop signs in France are in English. It says stop. In Quebec, they are in French.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you go in El Salvador, they're in Espanol. It's I forget what the word was, but it's not stop. It's Spanish. So
it says Spanish.
It's in Spanish. Yeah, the stop signs. Yeah, I forget what it was though. It was fun. There was no, that's fire. There's so little stop signs and lights in El Salvador. You can just drive, and people just zipper into the streets, and
or like some of the South American countries where it's like there are no laws. You just drive and you hope for the best.
Yeah, and it's great. And people are just on the back of trucks, on top of trucks. There was a log truck, and there was like workers on top of the logs, and it's like they don't give a shit.
They don't give a fuck.
And it's great weather as well over there. Like it's not cold or nothing, so you could do those sorts of things.
Yeah, like I like Hawaii because the weather is it gets hot. It's weird because it's like they call it paradise because the weather is like it's warm, but it's never like boiling lava hot unless there's actual lava. Like it gets hotter here in Washington in the summer.
Unless it is, then
except for the part that's lava.
Unless there's actual lava there, it's not boiling lava hot.
So what you're saying is it is lava hot.
Do they have mosquitoes?
I'm saying it doesn't really go above 85 almost ever. It's like 70 to 85 year round.
Over 80's pushing it. Do you have mosquitoes?
No, hardly.
Really? There's no mosquitoes?
Barely. No, there's some, but they're not common. It's like we get as many here in Washington as we do over there. And then like there's some cockroaches, but they're not that bad. The spiders there are harmless.
I was even to ask about roaches, but
the centipedes are not ideal. I'll be honest. Centipedes are not ideal. You won't find them unless you're in the jungle. Scorpions are not that common.
Jeez,
Fire tornadoes don't happen that often.
Fire tornado?
Remember the big Lahaina fire?
Yeah.
2 years before that. There was a small fire in Lahaina that caught fire, and then it got picked up by a tornado. And that. So
oh my god! I didn't know that.
We were cosplaying Australia for a minute there.
Oh, Australia has those?
Yeah. No, I've seen pictures of fire tornadoes.
Jeez.
It's not ideal. It's usually like a bushfire that gets caught up in a tornado because, like, the U.S. we're the tornado capital of the world. But no, unbeaten. But like Australia,
yeah. A bushfire. I won't even make the joke, but it sounds terrible.
George Bush, we're going to find that fire. We're going to give it justice.
We need a bush to extinguish it.
Yeah.
That's what we used to call redhead. Well, never mind.
I thought you were going to say gonorrhea.
Fire bush.
Damn.
Dude, just let it fly on this show. We're talking about not like 90s Jolie tits. We're fine, dude. It's a good day here. But oh yeah, I had another thing. So have you heard or been told, or is this common knowledge over in Canada, that your ex-prime minister now may be like a love child of Fidel Castro?
I heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious.
It looks just like him, dude.
Yeah.
No, but it's more than that, because like even the
parents
nipples,
love
right?
each other.
Like if his parents were both white, he'd have like pink nipples. He has brown nipples like Castro. He looks
I
like
haven't
it.
heard this theory. This is the first time I've ever been exposed.
Really?
Frederick, explain it to him. Like, was
Okay.
this common knowledge? Was this kind like a household thing? Like you all knew it? Or
No, I've never heard people talk about it. I've seen it on the internet a ton, and I think other people have seen it as well. There's actual proof of.
like
First
his
of all,
parents and Castro were friends and hung out.
She was
and
a
his parents were
whore.
swingers.
She was like, she went out. She left her husband to go touring with the Rolling Stones. Okay, she was a groupie. There's photos of her around with her arms around Castro. They're all lovey-dovey, and then she brings back the baby, and Castro's has the, it's like you're not supposed to say it because it's a national security thing, but it's kind of obvious if you do the math.
And then while we're on the subject, and French Canadian and all that, going over the pond to the land of France, what do you guys think about was it Brigitte Macron?
Yeah,
a man.
Is that like a dish?
She's got the
That does sound
Obama.
tasty.
She's got the Obama condition. Where
I think it's even worse than that. I think.
Yeah.
This isn't the best one I found.
Whoa.
Like, there was one.
Yeah.
It's like
All
if you compare them at the same ages, they look very alike. This is not a great picture example of that, but
You're correct. Like when you put the right pictures with the right angles, there's definitely a family thing there happening.
that, and then he looks nothing like his father and not a lot like his mother either.
Yeah.
It starts getting weird, dude.
Even his brothers, he doesn't look like his brothers either. And one of his brothers one of his brothers died in a skiing accident.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and they were interviewing Justin, after the fact, and he had a big smile on his face, like talking about the loss of his brother. It's one of the creepiest interviews I've ever seen.
I haven't seen it. I might need you to like point me in that direction later, because I've never seen that one. That sounds creepy.
Yeah,
this one's a little bit better,
few
even though the
times.
revolution.
Dude, all these conspiracies with the elites coming out like this is one example. I brought up Macron. Like with that, it's also weird because it's like, okay, allegedly, she, whatever the truth is about wife Macron, apparently was like grooming him from like the age of 13 or 14.
So
she was his teacher.
It appears that it's even worse than that.
No.
So yeah, you're correct. The thing
it's like
is,
Game of Thrones, dude. It's crazy.
Brigitte might be his father.
Yes. Oh no!
These pictures are low resolution because I'm doing this like just looking up stuff on the internet. But I've seen the higher resolution pictures, and they look more like in the higher resolution, instead of less.
Yeah, you can see it.
At first, like I heard the conspiracy. It's like this is fake. This is just like but then I'm like, then it's like no, here are his parents hanging out. It's like well, that's a weird one. So it's like his parents were also swingers, known swingers. All right. And then she left and came back with a baby. I'm like, okay. No, this happened. Okay. I'm sold. I'm sold.
It's it's an easy one, I think. I mean, obviously you can contest it and all that, but like I said, like he clearly is not his father's son, and that's such so easy to make the link. You got pictures of his mother with Castro in her arms, or
it explains some of his policies too.
Bro, and in our own country, in America, we have some weird stuff with origins in a particular president, Mr. Obama.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I don't know enough about it.
We got like our own. We might have like our own Game of Thrones stuff going on here, which is weird, dude. It's weird. Then all these people kind of get into power at the same time.
Wasn't his dad like part of a terrorist organization, or am I dead wrong about that?
No, was he launched his political campaign with the Weather Underground with what's his name, Ayers? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, like, no, he was funded by terrorists or something. I don't know. I've heard this a long
I
time
think
ago.
his wife, his mother's, I don't know, because his mother remarried, I believe. And there's ties to intelligence, I've heard. Like there's photos of a younger Obama with an AK-47. There's videos of him
CIA
saying,
agent, right? Like his dad was a CIA agent. For
yeah,
sure.
I believe
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
And there's also a video of him like saying he's a Muslim. So he's
His name is Islamic.
He has
Obama.
another name. He has another name. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. I forgot.
Barry. Yep.
Barry Sotoro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they just figured out how the birth certificate was faked. They found the originals and they just basically copied a PDF and slide it over the information. They even kept the rotation, so they were able to. That's how they knew from where it was forged.
Mm-hmm. And then, like a judge at the time, I think like ruled that they didn't have to like provide it, or like that the new one that they fabricated a new one and then said it counts because I say so, basically. And it's like, no, like where's the original one? Like babies are born in hospitals and it's documented. He's American, right? Like
it can be tricky with that too. It's like I have a buddy of mine. His uncle raised his kids off grid, never went to the hospital for the birth of like 3 of his kids. And so at one point he's like, all right, well, we need to do stuff for the kids. We better go get them social security cards. How old is he? He's 10. He's never been to a hospital. There's no record that he exists anywhere.
That's actually kind of cool. The thing is, like, Obama, like nobody remembers him from school. Like the school where he supposedly studied, the teachers never seen him, none of them, and neither of the students. So it makes there's a lot of things that don't add up. So it's not just one element here. It's not one thing that you can, maybe this, maybe it's just a stack of stuff that you're like, you gotta really ignore a lot of stuff too.
And that's not even touching any of the conspiracy theories about his wife.
Which wife? What were you talking about?
His husband,
Michelle.
Oh yeah, Michael
Mike.
Robinson. Yeah,
Big Mike.
He launched a podcast. Did you guys see that?
I did. No, well, nobody saw it, but I heard.
With his brother.
Did you guys hear about the book? That book that he put out? It was like becoming the first lady. It's like
becoming Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, you became.
Oh, that's right. I forget. What do you mean? This isn't an accomplishment for you.
I think they did the same thing in France but in French, like they kept the same thing. Because one of the jokes as well is that the Brigitte Macron, her favorite movie when she cites it, it's a movie where the ending is the woman reveals that it's a guy. And the other guy's like, well, better than nothing, you know.
Oh yeah, Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, no, like the two. It's like White Chicks. It's like it was what White Chicks is based off of. It's like these two guys they're trying to swindle this old guy, and then they're also trying to like get to know Marilyn Monroe as well by being girlfriends. Anyway, and at the end, it's like the old man's driving her away, and it's like, oh, but you're old, and it's okay.
Yeah,
but I have no money. I have lots of money. Takes off the wig. I'm a man. Nobody's perfect. Keeps driving the boat.
Exactly right.
So here's the thing. My big hang up on
Crunchy McCruncher. What was that?
Evelai's an AI. We now found out.
Am I crunchy?
No, you're good.
No, you were just being hacked.
Oh, okay. It was what was the name? Zero Cool.
Yeah.
It was Acid Baron. So my biggest thing with all of these is
might be acid reflux.
And you're like, whoa, that sounds really interesting and intriguing. How do you confirm anything, and how do you confirm even those references are real? Especially, we're in the age of Photoshop, but AI is going to make it even more difficult. And I've seen fake things go around the world 1,000 times. So it's like, it's interesting. It's fun to talk about. But how do you confirm anything other than just my kahunas say, hey.
Because
Justin, I say you just reach down and feel a little.
See, if you're going with that, I'm like, okay, it's just like your gut instinct. But
let's think one case instead of like being general, because
Sure.
Brigitte Macron, let's say, there's a journalist who did a bunch of research. She was able to trace what was the name of the child. It was a child that disappeared, but was never, no one declared him missing, right? It's just a little boy that no longer exists.
It's crazy.
Was never declared missing.
How do you confirm any of that other than
Paper
somebody
trail.
else says
Research.
it? Like,
Yeah.
so you actually went to the post office and said, talk to that guy. You saw the paper in your hand. It's like just photos of things. You can Photoshop stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting, but how do you verify
Well,
it?
it's
And it's more of a
multiple
commentary on, like, even if you
points.
have the truth,
Yeah.
how do you prove
So
the
you're
truth?
going to want to have like multiple points of things. So I'll just let's look at the most objective stuff that is provided by the state of filming Brigitte. Right? You see Brigitte sitting down, walking, you can tell. You know what I mean? Like the way
they have a certain look.
Women don't sit down with their legs open.
Yeah, the broadness of the shoulders.
When you see a man sit down comfortably, women don't sit down that way. There's a lot of things that, because it's an illusion, and you can keep the illusion a lot of the time, but it's gonna crack at some point. Like even Obama slips up and he calls Michelle Mike in like 3 separate interviews.
Damn.
But even that, does he, or is it that somebody took the audio and slipped that word in there and whatever else? Like, how do you actually confirm unless you hear it like you're sitting next to him, and even then people's memories get foggy? Like, that's my biggest thing. Like,
there's ways
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying how do you
I understand
confirm?
you want to verify.
They can usually
you have
they
to
can
look
do
at
tests
what
to
the
see
source.
if an image has been altered. They can check that.
Yeah, and you can also
Who's they?
Yeah, but we're talking also about image. These are all images that are pre-AI. Okay, all of this.
But post Photoshop.
No, I mean, the thing is, you can verify from multiple sources, not just video. It's not just a picture. We're not just going off a picture. We're going off video. We're going off facts. We're going off like books.
Even some audio, I'm sure, like some
Yeah.
recorded phone calls or something.
Oh yeah, no, my grandparents got scammed years ago by a fake version of my brother. They faked his voice.
Yeah,
and
I've
they
had friends.
asked him for money.
Yeah,
they
'cause
fell for it.
we're not 100% sure about this. Like no one has 100% legal, undeniable proof. At least I can't speak for you guys. What I'm going to say is, especially in the case of Justin Trudeau, is that it's more likely that Castro is his father than the other Trudeau, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. To me, it just seems more likely because the proofs, if I look at the person, the skin color, the traits, it makes more sense to this. That's what I'm going to judge it on.
And then also the lifestyle of the parents, the reputation of the mother, the weird circumstances around his birth, like it all kind of
the rise to power.
Right, it all points
that
in one
too is always
direction.
kind of-
It's just a matter of like, how do you get that next rung up the ladder to be like, this isn't just look at all this evidence. This is like, this is undeniable.
A video. I watched a video that was like 2.5 minutes long. It convinced me in 2.5 minutes. It could I looked up.
You're
stuff
like, look at
afterwards, and
these
maybe-
nipples would not be brown if his dad was this kid. It'd be pink. You're like,
Little
There's
did
a
you
Castro
know,
in there.
he's been dyeing his nipples every day.
Yeah, it's man, don't make a blackface joke. Don't make a back. Okay, so yeah, and that's kind of what it looks like. Is it's just there's more and more and more stuff, and it keeps pointing to it that this is likely, and it looks more and more likely the more you look into it, and like. I don't know. You can check out like Candace Owens's breakdown of the Brigitte stuff.
Yeah,
she declared war on the topic, and it looks very likely that this is the case. And basically, the wall that she hit is Brigitte's not commenting.
And people are paying with their lives for this information.
Yes.
Now, like the journalist I was telling you who did the initial research in France, I think she was a Belgian researcher. She's dead now.
Yeah.
oh, jeez.
They found
It's
her
Game of
body
Thrones.
in a
It's like anyone looking into the Clintons. Oh no, another car crash.
Yeah, you're looking
What
at the
happened?
most powerful people in France, right? And a fun fact: you guys have ever heard of MK Ultra?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Brigitte's birthday, compare that to the day the
That's the
MK
other
Ultra
thing.
program started.
All these people are tied around that fucking time period and like surrounded by these people like Jolly West and shit. Like, dude,
It's
it's
just
crazy.
a coincidence.
Oh,
Sure.
Totally just a coincidence. This is entertainment purposes only.
Oh, we
Oh,
just
Everly is
lost
not
Everly.
being hacked right now by a 3-letter agency.
We lost
Yeah.
him, boys. Who's next?
I'm not.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of you two because I'm just a retard. No one
You're in
knows me.
Seattle though, boy. I don't know.
I hope it's not me because I'm the guest. So
Minnesota,
That's
they
true.
might just show up. They might just show up where I am in Minnesota.
They may.
they got Everly. I shouldn't have brought
No,
that
no,
topic up.
AC. They're gonna look and they're like, in the middle of really.
I was just
middle of-
kidding, Everly. They're real women. They're all real.
Yes,
Justin is the
entertainment.
real son of Pierre Elliott. It's all good.
Yep. They are real women. They're as much women as a real woman, I promise.
I'm not sure what a woman is, but they sure are.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah. They are that.
I feel
Anyway.
like a woman.
It's just so crazy that in our lifetime, like I remember growing up, I was just like, man, the world's pretty boring, you know.
What?
9/11 was crazy, you know, but like even as a kid it kind of felt staged. But then in hindsight, I should have known that as a kid, even if it felt kind of staged, doesn't that imply that there's something deeper down below the iceberg or whatever? Like there's something just beneath that unseen. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see
I was
it.
younger than you. I wanted to join the military, and I was like,
I did too.
6, 7.
I wanted to be a cop too.
You wanted to be a
It's
cop?
terrible.
I've never wanted to be a cop. I've always known that was a terrible job.
Cop first, then I was thinking about military, and then I decided to do music.
When I figured that Spider-Man wasn't an option, I was like, well, let's look. Let's see.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a comic book artist. I couldn't make that work in my 20s, and then I went into like websites.
And now in
Computer
your
stuff.
60s, you're almost
Yeah,
you're
now in
getting
my
there.
70s, I can get back to my initial love,
I know.
and I
Can you believe it? At 83, he's almost there.
and now I can make my own website too in the HTML, and I program it myself.
I got my own .com, mother lover.
What was it? He got a handle. He's got a handle, boys.
I don't even have a handle. I'm
Are
still
you talking
using
about
my
Michael again? Or
Yeah.
he's got a handle, boys.
Oh, I saw this really crazy TikTok. Because ever since like the government admitted and all this UFO shit has been being talked about, there's been a lot, like an upswing in like sightings and people recording it and stuff, whether they're fake or not, because you know now AI is a thing too. But apparently this one had like a lot of witnesses, and it was just a bunch of lights in the sky. They looked like stars. It was at night, and they were like going into formation, and it looked like Orion's belt, and almost like they were like lining up Orion's belt and then trying to highlight other stars. Like, but then it just makes me think about seeing it from different angles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now we live in an age where drones exist now, so you can actually have
That's
drones that can do like 90-degree turns in the sky.
Yeah.
Remote
And use
control.
AI to stay in formation as they rotate. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was he went over in that part of the like southwest kind of country on his last trip to California and coming back, and he was asking. They were close to Area 51. He stopped by a gas station, and this older woman, she's been there her entire life. He's like, "So aliens, real? Not real?" She's like, "It's not real, man. They have so many weird things flying in and out of that airfield. It's all just government nonsense." That's what she
Kahuna.
says. But
Kahuna, two things. I have my own anecdotal story.
Yeah.
I'll share first. So I've lived in a couple party houses in my day when I was doing music.
that's a bad start.
Oh well, you meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of different people. Some of these people are veterans or active serving military members or like
And
gang
some were
members.
aliens.
Some are aliens, probably. Yeah, they act like it anyway.
I've seen women that look like aliens. Oh wait, he's back.
I've seen aliens that look like women.
He's back.
He's back. I talked to this guy. He was
I
a
got
soldier.
hacked, bro.
Yeah, clearly.
That's what we said.
We just
That's
went
what we said.
back. We backtracked. So Brigitte Macron is a real woman. So's Michelle
Yeah.
Obama.
We got scared. Yeah.
And Justin is the
They
real.
they heard you talking about those female penises, and they're just like, we gotta extract this from the internet.
Lady Weens is where my computer stops working.
That's where the shadow government draws the line.
Yeah, it's like, all right, get this guy out of here. Get the cane out.
You see a guy with an ancient Egyptian object just like show up at your house, and now I cast you into the shadow realm.
Again. Oh, Willikers.
Or it's like the still frame where they're yelling and their hair's moving, but it's obviously like three frames just repeating. It's like
being blown back.
Can't be.
So all anime ever.
Okay, yeah, buddy. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
You, sir, you don't talk about my animals. They're my enemies.
So my story quick, and then like what I was gonna say here. It's all good. This guy. He was a soldier, right? And he said that he was partying with one of his higher up officers one time when he was like on duty or whatever. Like they were in a place where that was possible, right? It was like he was in Afghanistan or some shit. I don't know, but he said he finally got this opportunity where his superior officer was like inebriated enough where he could actually ask him some candid questions. And he said, so what's the craziest weapon we have, right? And the guy said that he couldn't like tell him directly, but like with one, he said basically with one bomb you could like glass an area the size of China, just a big splotch on the earth. And then yeah dude, it's pretty wild. And the other thing I was going to say is what do you think of how much money like the government has spent on like researching remote viewing and stuff, and they never really stopped researching this woo-woo stuff? Like
I researched it a bit too. I did some amateur remote viewing a few years ago.
Right, and they literally say UFOs are real and they're interdimensional. And when you ask some of the more trustworthy people about it, they're like, yeah, I believe, but I think it's more of a spiritual thing. They say stuff like that all the time, and it kind of just like leans more towards what I've heard a lot of the Christian friends of ours in the community say.
They're demons.
They're demons, right? Or like angels,
or spirits at least.
Yeah.
The UFO thing also gets people away from God too.
They spend millions on like remote viewing woo-woo stuff.
Yeah.
And they still do it. It's crazy. They care about it. They believe it's real for some reason, and they're spending tons of money.
Well,
I think. Well, I think
those dollars. Maybe they take it in.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
Hey, thanks for the yacht.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go
aliens.
investigate at this college here real quick.
Oh my god!
I think we'll start with the sorority and just work our way down the line.
Right.
Either scenario is plausible on some level, but I always just assume people are using whatever snake oil thing, and the more believable it is, the more the easier it is to be like, yo, let me just keep that gravy train flowing. And it's the kind of thing where it's like maybe, but it's that.
I'd love to see I'd love to see a government gravy train be a thing of beauty. They use tanks.
The thing that's annoying about all this is like, I just want to know the truth, like one way or another. Like, just tell me what's going on so we can like get
Justin,
on
we'll find out when we die, man.
Basis of knowledge.
Well,
I'm okay not knowing everything.
Truth is, knowledge is power, and people want to hold on to the power.
Yeah, that's why it's so easy.
Knowledge is power.
Just like know what's real and what's not, and go on from there.
I heard the Dalai Lama or something, a Buddhist monk,
CIA agent.
Yeah, it was on the show. It was on the show White Lotus Society, I think it's called. It was like a Buddhist monk on there, but it was actually a good way to put death, because the guy asked him what happens after, and he said it's like a drop of water rising up from the ocean, and then you age and you live, and then the drop starts descending, and then you age more and you get old, and then you die, and death is the moment that the drop rejoins the ocean. And
what if he said
like,
that you're a drop rising, and then when you die, it's that drop just like is still rising, but you get endless chili dogs and golden retriever puppies everywhere.
They're keeping that truth away from us, Emily.
Justin, are you Sonic the Hedgehog?
I don't know.
Honestly, that sounds pretty good to me.
The last thing he said was it's like returning home. But yeah. Chili dogs.
And it's celery as far as the eye can see. Nothing but delicious celery.
Snakes on a log.
You get to eat. Yeah.
Or ants on a log.
Yeah.
Oh no, not raisins and celery. Ugh.
Yeah, bro.
Guys, where did my
The
brain
peanut
go?
butter.
What the hell is snakes on a log?
Snakes? Is that gummy worms?
Sounds bad, dude.
Gummy worms
That,
and celery?
that also
peanut butter?
sounds terrible, but
I'm
Frederick, is that
down.
a Canadian
Gummy
like
worms
sexual
on
position?
I've
peanut
never
butter
heard
and
of such a
celery?
thing in my life.
Snakes on a log.
Hey, boys,
You heard it
y'all
first.
ready
We're
to
starting
get
the Iron
bored?
Seas cookbook. Tonight's the first recipe. It is the snakes on a log.
Also on our OnlyFans.
Peanut butter, celery,
Snake
and
on a
gummy
log.
worms. Gummy worms, peanut butter, and celery.
Over under AC tries this before the week is out. He's at the grocery store just like, hey babe, I need
I'll
these
do it.
gummy worms.
I'll do it. I got
we
peanut
make a
butter. I just
short.
need celery and
Make
gummies.
this video.
It'll be like a short.
I
I don't care.
There. I already have
do
the
it.
peanut butter, guys. Is it crunchy or smooth? Can we pick?
It's
or
smooth.
Is it smooth to move?
It's smooth.
Smooth
Crunchy
to
for
move.
everything always peanut butter. No.
Smooth.
I'm a
peanut
crunchy.
butter.
I'm a crunchy
Yeah.
fan myself.
I don't blame you.
You gotta have something to grip.
I like
you
my
know what I
peanut
mean?
butter the way I like my women.
Crunchy.
Crunchy.
With
I don't know what
bulges.
that means. I'm
With
concerned.
many bulges and lumps.
Hey, whoa. I mean, you married a model. What can I can't say anything.
Smooth peanut butter.
I was trying to make a caloric joke, but it just didn't come to fruition.
Don't come.
You don't have the energy.
Don't come.
You don't have the
Yeah, something about like sustenance and survival, but there's something there. Somebody smarter than me. If no
Not
one
in
was able to
celery.
put it together.
That's why you need the peanut butter.
What? Oh yeah, Frederick. Pause. Frederick, how do you feel about celery?
It's a waste of calories. I mean,
Thank you.
I only
Solid
It's
water.
actually,
Do you
it's
hate?
actually negative.
Do you hate it?
Solid water.
yes, they should be
Yes.
like burned from the earth
Based,
and removed from the
based,
earth. And like
based,
and
AC,
celery.
you hate
They
celery
should
too? I don't
remove
remember.
celery from the books and the history books and all the dictionaries and
We-
Wikipedia.
we
Celery's the
welcome
real
all kinds of
conspiracy.
foods here at Clan
Except for
Pritchard.
celery.
We are inclusive for all foods because our stomachs are empty as it is. We need the celery, even if there's no calories. I've been told it's like solid water.
When people give me celery, I put it in the oven.
And then
It's like
what?
my ex-wife. A lot of promise, a lot
You
of
just
work.
leave it in
No
the oven. I
real
want to go to your
benefit.
house and your oven, you open the door, it's just full of like celery. Like, why is there celery?
No,
it's
no,
all like
I-
dry
I
rotted. You
don't
never
have
cooked
any-
it. It's just
I
hanging
don't
out
have
there.
any particular
It's
love
just
of
the
celery.
storage area.
But
It's just the celery.
what everybody I know who I've talked to recently, especially online, everyone hates celery. Like
'Cause it's terrible,
vehemently.
man.
You don't know what celery has done. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank
who
you.
know? You're a
Tell
young
'em.
kid. You were born in 90 something.
Fred knows.
Celery.
Oh wait,
is
you
not
guys
to
keep
be
talking.
trusted.
I'm gonna look up something in French real quick. Hold on.
It's
They
smug.
told us we had to eat our greens or we wouldn't have dessert. And then those greens
Amen.
had little strings in them. And those
Amen.
strings stuck between
Dude.
our teeth.
And
They
how
They
authoritarian
stayed,
is that?
and we couldn't get it
Hallelujah.
out.
It's the most
Mhm.
authoritarian of all vegetables.
You need a water pick for that.
It is what it
worse
is.
than broccoli.
If you
Gets
had
in there.
gone
You
through
can't even
that,
floss with it. It
you
just
would've-
teases you. It's like, I got strings, but you can't do anything with them. Just cry. Just cry
could
sad
maybe
tears.
stitch a wound,
Sad tears.
but-
Maybe you put those sad tears on the celery and try to make it. Oh, stitch a wound with your
Stitch a
celery
wound.
strings?
That's
Okay,
celery
pause.
fiber, yeah.
I gotta speak French, and I can't speak French. Oh, les céleri, t'as-t-il touché?
Oh oui, tu es français.
You made it sound
Some-
like a song, which I appreciate.
something touched celery.
In English, it's where did the celery touch you? Is what I asked.
Where did you touch
I'm
the
glad I
celery?
took the time. Thank you, Google, for that. I probably just said it
It
wrong.
sounded pretty. I felt
It
like it
was-
was right
it was-
because it sounded nice.
It's close. I thought you were hitting on me or something, but I'm glad it's not that.
Wait. I'll come up with a careful flirt. Let
God,
me see
this
here.
reminds me of you ever see
Je
All That.
suis.
You guys might be too young. All That. It was a Nickelodeon like sketch comedy show.
I
Like
remember
SNL.
that.
And
Yeah.
It's
there
like,
was
are
a-
you afraid of the dark, but not scary?
Dude, Are You Afraid of the Dark was actually really legit.
Mhm. Dope.
The All
Dope shit.
That was not good, but there was one skit they had on there with the kid. Was it Keenan from Keenan and Kel? Keenan Mitchell
Yeah.
or Kel Thompson? I mixed the two up. I can't remember which one's which. I think it's Keenan Mitchell. and he was in a bathtub, and he had like the yellow hat on and the yellow rain vest. He's in there in the bubbles and a little
remember
ducky,
this.
and he'd say something in French and then translate it, and it was always something insane like what you said, which is why it reminded me of that.
It's
wait,
crazy.
I got a flirt for you here, Frederick. Je poserai mes cajunas sur ton front.
I understood one word.
That's disgusting.
Hey,
That's
hey, you
disgusting.
did it. Well done.
What did that translate in real French?
Oh, I heard it, and I'm not saying it.
I will lay
You
my
did it,
cajunas on
Kahuna.
your
So you
forehead.
did it well.
Mission
Don't do it
accomplished.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lingual.
Now say it
You
like
did
over and over again, so that nice and clearly too, so that YouTube can hear it.
Dude, I need to learn this phrase in every language. I will lay my cajunas on your forehead.
That's disgusting. He says.
Oh, I'm so glad that translated properly. That's so funny.
Yeah, Google Translate will save your life, man. If you're in a place where you have to speak a foreign language, Google Translate, man, is essential.
I keep getting ads now where you can put in an earpiece and it will hear what you're saying and then translate it.
That's
and then
hot.
I don't know. I guess they would need one too for you to talk back to them, but at least you can understand what they're saying.
Yeah, but then
I'm
I'm
like,
getting like Lord of the Rings vibe. What's his name? The guy who would like whisper into the king's ear, like,
Oh, Worm Tongue.
Worm
I
tongue.
think that's the name of the app. The app is called Worm Tongue. Is the name of it.
They're laughing at you.
He does all the translating in there. You're like, somebody
Your son
says something to you,
said
it's
you
like,
look like a bitch.
"Hey, where's your passport?" You're like, "Oh yeah, my passport." And it's just Worm
Tell
Tongue.
them
You're
you're
like,
social. But they're
That'd be a
Indian
funny
people
sketch,
selling
actually.
fake Rolexes. Should I really? Yes.
Person approaching you as a cuck. It just like whispers their secrets into his ear.
Oh, because it's hacked. Zero Cool gets in there and hacks the lines
Yeah,
of dialogue.
yeah.
And starts feeding.
Well,
you.
that's definitely a hack that people can do. Hacking people's earpieces. That's been a long time thing.
Been done. Oh yes, I remember a while back. So it wasn't even a hack. Some guy just figured out the exact extension. They would call a local target, and if they put in the right extension, they could get in control of the PA in the target in the physical store. And so what do? Immediately start playing porn audio.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a classic.
Out loud throughout the whole
As
time.
you
When
It's
I
a
was
classic.
The first thing they do, why not?
when I was
what you
doing,
gotta
like,
do? Oh, go. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, when I went to hacker conferences in New York, like in the hotels, they have like little televisions where they play the news, like CNN and shit like that. And hackers hate that, so they just hacked the cameras and played Looney Tunes in the
nice.
elevators all
I approve
weekend.
of Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is lit.
And what you gotta do is you gotta hack nanny cams and then play ghost sounds out of them.
No.
Yeah, that's the worst when they came
You
out with
guys
the
are
nanny
black hats.
cams, and because they don't even put security on the nanny cams.
No.
They're out there with
dude.
no
And they connect to the
passwords.
internet. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just search for the IPs because they have the same kind of signature, and that's what sick people did is they were just browsing nanny cams.
And then you
Sick
could hop on
people.
that speaker. You'd be like, wait till the fat nanny is backing up or something, and be like, beep, beep. You could do whatever if you're. I don't know. I'm sure there's
Oh, yeah,
pranks.
that's the first scenario. that came to mind.
We are
Yeah.
chaotic neutral in this whole
Yeah.
situation.
Or chaotic good. You prowl the nanny cams, and you're just waiting for the most like unhinged moment where you can intervene and save somebody even a little bit of stress. Like they're about to drop. Like you wait for a vase that's teetering, and you're like, "Look out!" And like, "Thanks, nanny cam."
I was gonna say chaotic keck, but that is chaotic nice. Actually.
You could just like pretend you're Siri. You're just coming out from the nanny cam.
Yes.
Hey, who said that? That I'm Siri. Oh, I didn't know we had Siri.
Guys, I just realized I need to find a French girl so I can pretend like I'm learning French and then drop this line and pretend like it's a mistranslation of what I was actually trying to say.
Yeah. But then if she takes it seriously and it's well received, then you just go along with
If
it.
the kahunas are well received on the forehead, is that what you're
That's actually a
Yeah.
bold line to drop to somebody. Actually, you got to be.
It's
careful.
also a
That's like-
confusing one because is it a flirt or is it an aggressive thing? It could be both.
yeah, it's both. So that's why you got to be careful. It's like, you sure you want to unholster that line? And then you're sitting there, you're like standing at the high noon, like, should I draw? Should I wait? Ooh,
And then
Is that
other
how French
thing-
girls sound, Beverly?
Yeah,
the
that's
other-
how they
That's
sing
exactly
that
how they
song
sound,
from
yeah.
that High, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I think it is.
She stopped smoking her cigarette.
Yeah, that's when you know it's serious. When she's like,
Yeah.
that might be the time. That might be the time to jump.
Scratches her
Actually,
armpit.
after that line, oh, what happened to my camera? After that line, she might throw it at me. Actually, just like
Is that actually a thing? I know Frederick here is our he's our representation and our knowledge
French
master on
correspondent.
all of
Yeah.
Canadian, all of it.
French
and he
correspondent?
has-
That's a good word.
He has all of the
Yeah.
lore on our neighbors up north. Is that true? Is smoking a big thing up there? I feel like you guys are all so healthy.
No,
that
that's a
can't be
French
true.
thing. That's a
I
French
was
thing.
gonna say,
Is it still prominent though? I feel like it would be
Yes.
like, oh
But
really?
not the French Canadian, the French.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
So
over
it's
in
like
France,
the hardcore.
How hard
Yeah.
is it to tell like an authentic like French person versus like a local
Oh,
French
yeah.
person?
Oh,
You probably
instantly.
tell the difference for starters.
Instantly.
as soon as they talk, as
Yeah.
soon as they talk,
Oh,
like
So it's in
within
the accent.
2-3 words, it's in the choice of words.
oh, that's
It's like, how long would it take you to figure out a British? You're with a British. Well, you'd look at the teeth, but you know,
Yeah.
if you couldn't see the teeth, how long
That's
would it
what-
take you to figure a person is British? Right?
That's pure accent. That's all
Like
accent.
within the
it's-
first word.
no, it's
Yeah.
not pure act. No, because I've met Europeans will come over here, and it's something about like they have like on average. This is just very generalization. On average, a lot of European people I've met that are from Europe have thinner heads, like they're not as wide as ours, unless they're German. And then like something about the nose and the general face shape. I'm like, they're European. They're not.
It's the inferior European air. And they don't get as much sunlight because like the planet is lopsided and
The
we're
thing
on
that really gave it away was the Quran that they carried with them, and
that's
a dead
usually a
giveaway.
tell. That's usually
that really made me believe they were.
Oh man, I dated a Muslim girl once.
You dated a
Don't
Muslim?
tell anybody.
we won't. Just between us and chat.
What did you say, Kahuna?
Oh, nothing about you dating
Okay.
Muslims. Anyway, continue. Hey, Maji Chan, I'm so glad you got here for this
Hey,
part.
Maji. You missed the best part.
Oh, dude, there's so much gold on this stream. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Talking about gold, look at that Frederick's art there. That's fucking gold there.
I was just about to
Like
ask
what?
how many. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, AC. I didn't mean to step on your fingers.
I just said, I tell you what, that was it, sir. It's all you.
All right. My question is, how many hours do you?
My
are you
question.
already into this. My question is how many
Well,
hours are you into this thing? It
I
feels like
don't
you've been
count
working on it.
hours because that leads to depression.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
You've been working on this one for a little while, but it looks
Yeah,
great.
we've been on the stream for 9 hours, and you've been working on it the whole time. So it's
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
9.
And
It was like halfway done.
And then no, I mean you kind of have to forget about time and like just
I know that feeling.
lose
Yeah, I
yourself
know what you
within
mean.
that.
Yeah.
This actually started as this is a Patrick Quinlan's character from Phenomenal Tales, and I just like wanted to draw one of his female characters for fun, and he ended up liking it and wanting to purchase it for. I think it's going to be a print with his new campaign.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah, dude. It should
Yeah.
be. It's good enough for that. I
So
think.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
trying
real
to
good.
push it to something real clean and I always try to give like the extra mile. I'm working for the gigs I want to get, not the gigs I got, trying to.
Well, the particle effects are insane as well. They're very
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
there's lots of details as well. Like I went into the
Ooh.
little kind of
Yeah, you did.
within dots.
Wait. I've seen this in movies. Zoom, enhance.
What is that called? Stippling? Is that stippling?
Yeah, there's a little bit of stippling, some white stippling, some black stippling. I'm
Is
Oh,
not.
I
it
see
called
it, yeah.
stippling?
I
I always thought it was like stepling. Never mind. I'm. It sounds weird to me. Anyway.
That's nice. It's got like a texture. Noise. No, Emily's hacked again.
Oh no, we lost him again.
so can't zoom in too much. There's a limit.
There we go. Right about there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's sick, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
There is always tricky too.
It's going to be colored by Peter. I'm blanking on his name right now. I don't know why. Yes, he's a great colorist that's been working with Patrick. He does an excellent job. He's from England as well.
Ooh.
Look what I got here.
Peter
it
Gilmore.
looks like Rattel ancestors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the black and white version.
No, I'm just in a filter, my brother.
He lives in black and white.
Yeah. This is my dimension.
Yeah.
So I actually still haven't had time to read through this whole thing. I've read through a good amount of it. But your comic is one of the things I've actually read the whole thing of.
Oh.
And I think I checked out John Douglas's thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for John's new book that's coming out here soon too.
Your comic is in there as well with Luke Stone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we share that's
Luke,
cool.
Luke is a cool guy. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, he's a cool guy. Love him.
Yeah, 100%. Love that guy.
Which is tough because, like, in the comic space, I don't want to insult anyone, but like sometimes I talk to someone, I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Luke is also like from a very religious background. I think he was a preacher, so I think he knows how.
He was, yeah.
He's getting back into ministry too, which is why my final cover and some of the pages I've been trying to line up are going a little bit slowly on my campaign. But I touched base with him again, and he said it's all good. It's just going to be a little bit slower going because of the ministry, and I'm completely okay with that. Like, whatever's clever. I have an open-ended campaign, as long as it gets done, And honestly, this just gives me time to save up more of my own money anyway. So
yeah, dude, I have no notion of time with my comic book. Like, I'm like, it's going to be ready when it's ready. Like, I got 5 pages left to ink, so that's getting really close. My colorist's got 4 pages done. I got to give him like a batch of 8 now. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be this summer. But like while it's getting colored and finished, and I've got to prepare cards and extra pages. And
do you like the sketching or the inking better?
I used to love the sketching and hate the inking. Now I love the inking, and I now consider the inking really part of the initial drawing, because
you're drawing with the understanding of how you're going to ink it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but at the same time, when I ink it, sometimes it surprises me how much it's better once it's inked, because there's another layer of drawing while you're inking.
Yeah.
The sketch is kind of like the blueprint, and the ink is like just laying the tiles, right? It's the final.
I dabbled. Let me see. Do I have something?
Guys, we need a moment of silence for our dearly departed Mr. Evely Music. There's only one thing I think we can do.
Son of a bitch.
A bitch. Yeah.
And all of our
I dabbled with drawing, Fred. You'd be proud of me. I dabbled with drawing. Our weekly flash fiction that we've been pumping out.
You did a good job.
I drew the original sketches for that, and then I went ahead and inked it with just a shitty pen like a shitty gel pen I had floating around here, just to like get the feel. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously everything was redrawn and done properly by Animation Overload, but I just wanted to get those original sketches, because we all know about like the original Mickey Mouse sketches and all that. It's kind of cool.
I love AO's style.
He
has like it's really good, especially for our stuff, because our stuff we kind of need to like do quickly when we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's great for that. I love that.
I'm loving it.
Yeah,
but I dabbled with it.
A lot of writers do. No, I was just going to say, like, a lot of writers draw for their artists as well. Like, to give, here's what it looks like. Here's the costume I want. Here's the scene. Here's the layout. So it's definitely a tool that writers use as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like, I like what they did for the last Airbender, because that was animated by a Korean studio mostly. But like the directors, like they acted out the body motion and like how characters move.
Yeah, it was
They used that
important
as reference. It was interesting.
Yeah,
because of the martial arts. It was very important in that.
I love that series, the Avatar:
So
The
good.
Last Airbender. It's
Oh, it's just cool.
Like, how good do you have to be where you take over basically kind of like an entire subgenre of magic systems? Like now, anytime anybody has elemental magic,
They think
everybody
of that
else is going to be like, "Oh, it's Avatar."
dude. I thought you were going to say take over manga because for a while, like I thought they were the most
Could've.
interesting manga out there. You know,
Could've.
yeah,
It's not American, is it? The closest thing to American is it American?
Avatar.
Yeah.
Last
It's
Airbender?
made by Americans, but
Yeah.
the animation was done by a Korean studio.
Yeah, it's
to my knowledge.
the end animation is done by Koreans, but the whole design, the story was American. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the few actual American like something that can compete with anime.
I
Right.
think so. Yeah.
Because in the West, it's always been just cartoons, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Like we have to pull out Looney Tunes.
this is the example I go with for that. Legend of Korra, not a great show. It has good points. I really like certain things about Legend of Korra.
I couldn't watch it. I just
Never
It's
seen it.
better than like 80% of anime that comes out. That's a harsh statement, but I think it's true. Like in most anime story, while like you compare it story wise, animation quality, it's not quite like there are some amazing anime, but that's because there are hundreds every season, and most of it is slop.
Well, yeah, and they're in it for the long haul with the anime. They need to, like Bleach, for example, Naruto. Sometimes anime formulas are there to do that. But then you get bangers like Full Metal Alchemist, Attack on Titan, Death Note.
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah,
You've seen that, haven't you, AC?
What is it?
Gurren Lagann.
Gurlagan?
Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann? No.
Oh, dude. Fred, have you seen that?
nope. I thought you were gurgling there.
Oh, no. It's. I think it's a good thing to look at for character design because they say like a good thing like principle of character design is if you made the character a silhouette, you'd still be able to tell who everyone is.
Oh yeah.
And that shows a great example of that. And the simplistic art style is not as simple as it looks at first. And it has some just killer animation. Plus, maybe the best zero to hero story I've seen in a story. But also, why do the French do Japanese manga better than the Japanese? Look at this.
Oh wow, because the French grew up on manga, so we had French translated mangas when we were young.
Yeah, no, this is a French-made, basically like Japanese story, like fantasy story.
Yeah,
fantastic.
The French love foreign culture. The French write westerns. The French write the best. My best Western comic is a French comic. It's so freaking cool. It's called Six.
I've never read Blueberry because I can't find it in English, but Bouncer is French Western, and it's freaking killer.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a one-armed cowboy who's a bouncer in a town, and but it's brutal storytelling, but it's every panel is just really expertly drawn. The only thing I will say is sometimes the faces on this with this particular artist kind of look samey, and everybody is ugly. But I think that's part of the aesthetic that he's going for with this.
Yes, it was the same with spaghetti westerns. If you look at French movies, all the actors are ugly. Not the women, but the dudes. The dudes have charisma. They're funny, but they're ugly, and they have like character in their face. Whereas Americans, all the actors could also be male models. Right? They're all beautiful.
Well, it's like everyone's like Clint Eastwood got turned down for roles because he was considered too ugly for American movies. Yeah. I'm like, really? Okay, sure. That makes me feel good.
Right?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But yeah, no, it's like I think it might have been Razor who pointed me towards Bond Disney's, and I've gone on a journey, man. The art is consistently, especially if it's an English translated Bond Disney. I assume that usually means it's worthy of the translation and good enough to be translated. So I got
so many good books out there. Yeah.
Hell, I got Black Sad right here. That's freaking awesome art. All of the Elric books. I have a custom. For the deluxe edition I have in my house. I have a custom single bookcase displayed for the wall. It's
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I'm every time I look at it, I'm like every time I look at like that, I remember the comic The Dark Knight Returns and how overblown I think that comic is.
Dude, I have a book. I haven't read it yet. It's called Guerre de Dragons, so War of Dragons. It's like, oh, hello there.
Hey, buddy.
It's like World War II, but the Spitfire airplanes are also fighting dragons at the same time.
Yeah. I've heard of that book actually, just the book, but not the comic. But they made a comic for it too.
Yeah, there's two. I think they're independent stories. So basically, wars that take place at different. So they're keeping the concept, but it's not continuing the same story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a different take of the different story, but it's still war and dragons at different places.
Still same world.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you ever read Ghost of the Badlands by Razor and
Yes, there was a person I met on the internet who offered to let me read it in his car in a parking lot while I was in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you might have heard of him, Billy Bobsack.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew who that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bobsack.
So I read it. It's a great freaking read. Again, like he's got ugly, interesting, like ugly in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting, charismatic faces and expressions in there.
Now I've heard some criticism. The story is kind of minimal, but I think that was always kind of the intention.
Yeah, I mean, I had no problem with it. It's very atmospheric. It kept me engaged.
It's kind of how a Western like of this style should be. It's like think of spaghetti Westerns. How often are they talking compared to not talking?
Right. Yeah.
And like plus some of these like George, some of his expressions are insane. Like he captures like those
really his strength.
Eyes.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's his strength. I mean, he does a lot of caricatures as well. He's an accomplished artist.
His political stuff has probably helped him with that actually, because you're trying to exaggerate things.
Yeah, and he's got that manga kind of panel layout. Did you notice?
I did.
I did. Yeah. Like manga consistently has pretty good panel layout, but like every now, like I've talked about manga on my stuff before. Like Haikyuu, it's a volleyball shonen. Really, really good, by the way, for anyone who likes sports. But anyway, but the panel layout of that little tiny comic that, like manga, it's insane. It's like even reading it backwards even when I wasn't used to it, no dialogue, nothing, and I know exactly where to go with my eyes. And I'm like, how did they do this? This is brilliant.
Yeah, that's good storytelling. The Japanese are good at it. Sometimes reading old French bande dessinées, it was hard. So what they used to do is actually draw arrows to tell you from this panel to that
that's
panel.
interesting.
And I think you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to draw the eye without an arrow, like you could use a character's hand pointing, you know what I mean? Like you could do it subtly instead of overtly with arrows.
Yeah.
But they did do that. I've seen a lot of comics in my youth that employed those, because the pages in bande dessinée are larger, wider, and the originals are bigger as well. So it's just a larger format than the American floppy.
Well, like me, I've been getting into buying the deluxe editions of like the very big leather-bound, like deluxe editions of certain manga. Obviously, you've talked about it with me before, but Berserk, I've been collecting those. Yeah. I think physically I have maybe 12 or 13 volumes so far.
I have 8.
Yeah, that like they're huge. That's a lot. That is a lot. But I also got Hellsing, the big version of that recently. That art is cool. The layouts are like it's not a Berserk level thing, but like the layouts and the cool factor that it's so stylistic. Have you ever read it?
No, I don't. I haven't. I have some Hellboy that is equally graphic as well. I have like French edition of Hellboy, so they take
that's sick.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bound like it looks like a magical tome almost.
You guys ever fuck with the Hedge Knight series?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. That's about the the big guy, Sir Duncan the Tall. Was that it?
Yeah, it's what Mike S. Miller did for George Martin. Here, let me
I listened to the story and I read at least one volume of the comic.
let me show off the art. If we're going to talk comics for the end of it here, we should wrap it up here in a little bit too. But like, yeah, let me at least show off because like I don't own very many of them. I really like graphic novels though, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. Here's a quick question while you find it. How do you guys feel about floppies, like small, like issues of comics rather than the larger collected
Hardcover.
edition?
Hardcover all day for me, but I don't mind floppies.
But I like that you're saying that. I'm seeing the Americans turn into the American comic market is kind of turning into the European market.
Yeah.
Like they're making more mature books. They're going hardcover. They're going once a year. You know, they call it graphic novel because it's more of a complete story. These are all positive things. These are all things I thought the Americans were lacking back in the 90s.
It's because they were focusing on the wrong things. They were really putting emphasis on like alternate and collectible covers and all that nonsense.
Well, they grew up as a byproduct of newspapers as well, and they've always kept that lane instead of moving into books and respectable. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's a good edition of it. I have a floppy version of it, but it's still, or no, it's not floppy. I have a different edition of it, but it's really good. It's like I'm looking up some Hellsing panels here just because I'm trying to find one that kind of illustrates my point. But like between imagery and then the way, like Alucard is a fun character because that's great. The dragon looks sick, dude.
Yep. So it is, you know, it's in a dragon universe. You get dragons. I'm trying to find a good one with the knights. It's like knights and dragons.
That's great for comics. Is perfect for dragons, man. It's
and Gurm specifically. Look at this knight.
Oh man, the colors are good.
Well, it's like the season, like early seasons of Game of Thrones, they didn't have the budget and didn't quite have the attention to detail that they do, say, like on House of the Dragon. And so, in hindsight, it doesn't look as good as we thought it did at the time.
Oh, really?
And Gurm specifically wrote this novella series as a way for, I think, younger audiences to be able to get into his stuff without people having to worry about sex and gratuitous violence. Like they're still knights, right? And they're doing tourneys and stuff. So sometimes things happen, but it's not like Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell a story without any form of violence. I mean, if you got drama and action, oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, dude, that looks almost like Frazetta-like.
Yeah, a little, like not quite as dramatic. It's like it's a muted Frazetta a little bit.
Yeah, but you've got like the misty feeling in the air with the atmospheric perspective.
This is the back cover too, and like floppy. I'm not anti-floppy, you know. I
That's
just
what I've heard about you.
Always hard, brother. Always hard. Oh, there's another dragon. Oh, look at that.
Oh man, bright red.
Red is a great color for dragons.
And you can see the light through the wings as well. Let
me see that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, they paid attention to that detail.
That's like our artists, man. They see everything first.
That's a painter, yeah. Painterly style.
So yeah, I bring this up because I will probably be extensively reviewing it on the Iron Seas when it comes out because this is going to be one of the next shows that they make.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard they're making that. Yeah.
I hope they get their ducks in a row because House of the Dragon, the second season was nothing as good as the first.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
It was like Boardroom the movie. It's like seriously.
They're blaming it on the writer's strike. And I think they're pretty self-aware at this point after and sensitive, to be honest, after the Game of Thrones scandal.
It's like this is I couldn't find the panel I wanted, but this is like a basic one from Hellsing, just like using the guns, the imagery.
Oh, very stylish with the hair and stuff. Like he's very ornamental.
Ooh.
Well, because he transforms, he has like demons inside him. Kind of think of like the Beast in Black from Berserk. He's like that. So like they stretch his proportions. Like he's not tall. He's ridiculous. Like some panels make him look a mile tall, like 10 miles long and such, and just things of that nature. And there's one where he threw a bunch of soldiers trying to kill him out, and they all got skewered on international flagpoles.
Zan.
They're perfect. I know they're perfectly aligned, and then when he steps out, it's nighttime. But the shadow from his billowing cloak envelops like half of the building. Like, this is so cool. Dude.
Oh, I love that, man.
There we go. Yeah, I listened to and read the Hedge Knight story. Such a cool story, and plus, it's the first Game of Thrones story where I'm like, there's a good guy. I like him. I want him to win.
Well, like I said, I think this was George like wanting some sort of like good figure for young
What
men.
if there's a guy who just wasn't a piece of shit always?
And knowing who his ancestors are and like kind of his attitude around writing those people and how beloved those characters were in like the show and the other books, it all seems kind of wholesome and pretty squeaky clean right now. So like, but it might end with some like a pretty big thing. There's a building that burns down with a bunch of people inside, and the conspiracy is that it's on purpose. It's like 9/11. Like somebody orchestrated it as like a big ritual to try to get some dragon eggs to hatch. That's the implication. But we won't know until they like show it on TV or until he writes it. So that's where it's all leading up to. But until then, it just seems like almost like Scooby-Doo energy, you know, like big, strong, dumb knight who's also handsome but doesn't know it. So all these beautiful women throw themselves at him, and he is so socially awkward. He gets shy. He gets shy and embarrassed when that happens.
Plus,
even
he
though
has egg there too, which makes it even more.
And he's the snooty little Targaryen brat, but he's also pretty open-minded and likes to like adventure. And
he's
sees
pretty
how
smart too.
Yeah. So it's this wholesome dynamic, like I said, almost Scooby-Doo energy, and I'm here for it. I hope they do the show. I hope they do the show good. That'd be awesome. Because
I
at
would
this
love
point,
it.
it's like all we got.
I just don't. It's hard to have faith.
Yeah.
Gotta have faith.
Because you gotta have faith.
You gotta have faith. All right.
Anyway.
What do you guys say we wrap this up?
I say we do.
Oh, we're turning into a musical.
Yeah. It's
about
on that hour.
We have to stop before it turns into a musical.
It's about disco hour, boys. You know.
No, I love it, dude.
Well,
thanks for
having me. Wait. Last one. One second.
No.
Last one. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
Don't.
I can pretend, but I'm not. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
And it's all stretching out of him down here, and I love how it travels all across the.
Blowing across the panels is not bound by the frames. It's completely.
Yeah.
You can only do that with comics.
Yeah, and it's something you can't translate easily. Like, you can't really do it in film. It's not something you can properly. Like, the closest I remember seeing to that, like in an anime, was in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works when he took out the sword. Gilgamesh takes out the sword, and the screen flashes, and it looks like your TV's glitching. And it's like, because this is a reality bending. So I'm like, that is a cool effect. That's nice.
Okay. Lavender Town Syndrome. You guys know some Pokemon shit? Lavender Town Syndrome.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
The green version was released before Pokemon dropped in America. Apparently some kids unalived themselves to the original music for Lavender Town.
And then I guess created the lore for it.
Yeah. And then there's the famous banned Porygon episode where Porygon was flashing red on the screen too much and it caused seizures.
That caused like 16,000 seizures at once, because the episode was airing. Like
casting a spell. And then of course the episode where they gave James from Team Rocket a big old pair of hooters, and I don't mean the Pokemon.
Big Hooters.
It was
not
a beach
Pokemon.
episode. I think it probably contributes to some of the memes with beach episodes as a whole in anime.
I sure hope so.
But they couldn't show it on TV because it was just a little too much.
Little too.
Like
In America,
why you
like
making
we
them jiggle?
can't find a way to censor this.
Yeah, like how
effectively.
this is just beyond censoring. Yeah, it's so crazy that they even did that though. Like, Jesus,
No,
that's so cool.
I love 90s and early 2000s anime censoring because some of it's like, okay, I get it. Others, I'm like, you made it worse.
Yeah,
It's like Sailor Moon. It's like, hey, we can't have a lesbian relationship in a kids show. You're like, you're right. I have a solution. What is it, son? What if it wasn't? What if she was a guy, but you was his cousin? What? That was your solution?
you make it worse. Yeah,
What if it's incest instead of lesbianism?
yeah. It's like the Macron story all over again, dude.
And then it was like there's a scene like sometimes when there was a lot of blood, they had like a light across the screen, but sometimes they would just change the color from red to white. What's the problem when a girl has been murdered in a room and is covered in her own blood, and then you turn it white?
Yeah, so then there's just a white liquid on the.
He's
covered in
coughing up.
milk.
He's coughing up white blood.
Yeah.
Like, what's the choice?
Oh no, that is so worse.
It's so much worse.
Uh,
Or like in One Piece, they turned every cigarette into a lollipop. That one's kind of
That's
fun,
clever.
right?
That's clever. Yeah, because
It's
they
like,
have to put it in their mouth.
When we were kids, they sold us like Popeye cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
They were like little candy things with a little red dot at the end. Then they had to call them candy sticks because they couldn't sell.
Yeah.
Couldn't even call them cigarettes.
I remember that shit.
Yeah,
I remember that shit. It didn't stop us from pretending. It didn't
exactly.
Stop shit.
I still do
Didn't
that.
stop
If you give me a Popeye
Yeah.
cigarette today, I'm still smoking.
On a winter day. Yep.
Yeah. My kids love Popeye. The old
It is what it
animation.
is.
They love every second of that. They want to watch it all the time.
Really?
And like 8 and 4 years old, they love Popeye, the old animation.
I still order spinach on my Subway.
And you know where the spinach meme came from, right? That was an error in manual entry of data. So they were writing the properties of all these vegetables and shit, and somebody like did a typo when they were doing the spinach, and spinach was like really over evaluated as giving us really good vitamin, and so they started promoting it. And it became a meme, and Popeye picked that up, and that's where he gets his strength. He just pops open a can of spinach.
To Popeye's credit, it does have potassium and protein in it.
There you go.
That's
Not
pretty
bad
badass.
for you.
Guess what celery has?
No value whatsoever.
Neither. It has neither, I'm pretty sure. Neither of those two things.
All right. I think we'll start wrapping up.
Yeah.
Our lovely guest, Frédéric.
One last thing about celery. At best, it's like an edible spoon.
or chewable wood, like
I'm
wet
so
wood.
confused by the hatred of. I don't like celery, but I don't hate it. I'm neutral
yeah.
about it.
I'm neutral too, but it's
Thank
so funny.
you. Finally,
It's funny at this
just
point.
one person who doesn't hate it with all of their heart and a fiery passion. That's all I want.
Hey, I gotta get some gummy worms. That's all I gotta say.
Snakes on the
just-
log.
Snakes on a log, yeah.
Sounds like a weird, like gay retreat thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's code. Yeah.
It's got connotations.
it's like the
Snakes.
word. It's like a code that's so obvious. It's like why even bother with a code?
Like sword fighting, right? Right? Like snakes
I
on
hate
a
it when I get my
log.
Schwartz twisted.
And then there's the painful version, snakes in a log.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
let's not
yes.
go there.
Yeah.
No.
That's some 90s internet for you. There you go.
No, you reminded me of other things. We need to get
Yeah.
Frederick, plug your stuff, my man. Tell the fine folks where they can find you.
imakecomics.com. That's a forward address that'll take you to ratelcomic.com, where you can see samples of the art of my comic book, which is Ratel. Ratel is just the French word for honey badger, by the way.
Oh,
All
I
superheroes
didn't know that.
all superheroes have animal names, and honey badger is kind of the mascot in Bitcoin sphere. It's the totem
That's
animal.
why you're always using the the honey badger emoji?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Badger, badger, badger,
I thought
badger,
you were just
badger,
like, I
badger,
guess the honey badger, sure.
badger.
So yeah, instead of using the English word, would probably get lost in SEO, and it's so common to hear.
Yeah.
I figured let's use the French word because he's from Montreal. It'll give him a unique spin on it, and because it is set in a specific city.
Mhm.
So ratelcomic.com, check that out. It's coming out this summer. I'm going to do a launch campaign on fundmycomic.com as well as
Nice.
geyser.com. Geyser is a Bitcoin fundraising platform. So my Bitcoiners friends will be using that. And I've got a show on Tuesdays right before yours called Proof of Comics on my own channel. And tomorrow I'll be on Comicsgate Commandos, which is that PQ
Oh
Box
yeah, no,
channel.
I've seen that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're looking at the positive, like superhero adaptations or comic book adaptations in movies, because we're tired of bitching, we're tired of hating, we're tired of talking down to stuff. We're remembering the good stuff from the past.
Yeah, yeah. All the bad modern stuff is starting to make some of the stuff we criticized a lot look a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Like we talked about the Fantastic Four the other day. I'm like, I remember thinking this is cool, but even thinking it was not the same quality when I was a kid. And now looking back, I'm like, this feels so fresh.
Yeah.
This is a sign of like falling quality. But yeah.
Not a single DEI in sight. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right, AC, my friend, you gotta plug yourself.
You can find all my stuff at linktree.com/AC Pritchard. That's gonna be my band.
Fansley is there. It's great.
Yes, right there. Dink.
Right up there. Linktree.
I mentioned my comic book earlier in the show. Go check it out. Back it, help me make it happen. Go check out Fred's show. Subscribe to the Ultimate Kahuna. Go on our Iron Sea Substack and watch out for the weekly newsletter. I toss a bunch of random relevant news stuff in there. Update you from on everything Iron Seas, and top it all off with a flash fiction and a original art drawn from Animation Overload. By the way, Fred, if you ever want to do like a piece, I would send you the flash fiction ahead of time. I keep it really simple for animation. I just say, pick your favorite scene, and then he just does whatever. And I haven't corrected him yet because it's been good each time. Like, I don't have very high standards. It's just like
He's doing what like an art commission based on an anime.
well, I like a prose, like a flash fiction prose. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just fun, like fantasy. For those listening, it's a dragon, a pixie, and just a normal dude. And the world is an endless fantasy world, and they chasing after MacGuffins each time. And there's a lot of D&D humor in there. So
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Love it.
Go sub to the Seas on Substack. And
all right, for my plug, I got 30 new subscribers from my short the other day, so I'm good on plugs. I'm going to plug one of my favorite abridged series of all time, Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. Get that bitch a cannon. Bitches love cannons.